Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science DC Comics podcast episode, I believe, 619. And you might be able to tell my voice is a little off. I will talk about it probably ad nauseum as we go forward, since this is the last thing that I'm recording. I know that I talk about it ad nauseum. I've been sick all week. I have been hit with something. I don't know. My wife wants me to go get tested for COVID. I keep claiming I have the super flu. I don't even know if that's a thing. All I know is I have not felt like this in quite some time. I have been sick since probably mid-Tuesday, late Tuesday, and it's now Sunday. And it sucks. And I feel like crap. And yeah, there you go. Probably look pretty snazzy, though. With that, though, I think I have a very deep voice, very sexy, right? I do sound weird. My voice has like a weird vibration, a weird vibrato to it. It sounds to me in my head, but I'm also stuffed up a lot. But in the meantime, we have a show to do. The show does not stop for the super flu. It doesn't stop for anything. I had COVID multiple times. We kept recording. We recorded through that, so of course we're going to record through this. I will tell you, though, whatever I have right now, I feel worse than any of the times I had COVID, and I felt like crap when I had COVID. So there you go. Maybe it's a warning. It's a warning to everybody to maybe get a flu shot or man up and don't be like me. That's the thing I say later, not even that much later. I tell Matt that I don't get sick a lot. I feel like crap all the time. You, as I'm told. But boy, maybe I'm just not used to being sick, but holy moly, it just got worse every single day. And my wife does not seem to notice that I'm sick and demands for me to go and do things, go and buy her coffees and things like that when I can barely move. I think she's she's out for me. I'm going to say in for me. I think she's out for me. I think she's trying to do, even though the other day I did say, when I get this sick, I feel like you're trying to kill me. And she said, if I meant to kill you, you'd be dead. So at least I have that. I'll take solace in that. But here we are. We have a shorter episode, not even because I'm sick, just because we're in a ton of books. We have, I believe, 4 books on the podcast this week. If you want more, you can get that over our Patreon, patreon.com/weirdscience. And if you do go over there, you can listen to our Patreon-only Badass Spotlight, something or other. It has probably the biggest book, DCKO, Wonder Woman versus Lobo, and also Supergirl, number 8. That DCKO, Wonder Woman versus Lobo, I'll also mention later, that Simon does a bit of a deep dive. I went into that, read the book, had no idea what the hell Joelle Jones had going up her sleeve or what she was pulling out her butt. But Simon was able to spell it out, doing a bit of a deep dive. He would claim it wasn't a deep dive, that he was just, off the cuff. But he did end up being able to explain what that book was about beyond the KO. And I'm talking more of why was God watching on television at the beginning? Or why were there these dapper fellows ripping up contracts to make Lobo no longer immortal? Well, that's explained by Simon, so I thought that was pretty good. But in the meantime, here we go with the show. And the reason why I also bring up the Patreon Spotlight, besides a commercial to get everybody over there, hopefully, is to bring up the fact that those 2 books were picked by the badasses of the Get Fresh crew in a poll on the Patreon where we list all the books we're going to talk about. The top 2 in the poll then become the Badass Patreon Spotlight. And sometimes they pick the big books. Sometimes they piss off Brandon with an O and pick nonsense books. I think that this was kind of a combo of both. Nobody knew that DCKO, Wonder Woman versus Lobo, would be good, bad, or indifferent, but that's probably one of the bigger books that was picked. Supergirl, I think it was because there weren't that many books, and they're just, whatever. We'll pick Supergirl. Supergirl's not bad. It's not great. It's its own little thing. It has its own little pocket deal there that if you enjoy it, it's not a book that's necessarily written for me and Brad, but we can notice that it's got something going on. It has some quirkiness to it, though overall, it's kind of a nothing burger. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to get through this quick because my head is aching. I can barely talk. I don't want to go to a coughing fit. That would stink. So we better get to what we like to call the Badass Roll Call. And this is the shout out to those badasses of the Get Fresh crew. Oh, I'm going to make myself. I'm not going to do any beatboxing. If I did that, I would end up coughing for about 10 years. Here we go. Edward Howa, TJ Freeling, Andrew in Belfast. Eric loves you. Yes, does he? Don't mention it. David Fink, Jack Halsey, Brandon with an O, Nick Russ, Trevor, Tom Johnson, Dan Smith, yeah, Jeffrey, Leonard Greek, the Big Z, the Mark Claire Show, the Annihilator, Ted Probst, I Love Punchline, Stork, Matt Razor, Dr. Matt, Felix Rising. Welcome back, Felix. Felix is back, and it's Phoenix Rising. Why did I say? I can't even read. He gets back, and he becomes a badass again, and I misdo it. Oh, my goodness. Phoenix Rising makes a lot more sense. Oh, I'm sorry, Phoenix. Niels T. Ward, Stephen Baum, Jason Colby, Sue42, you and me. Ken Halleck, Comic Boom Rocky, Mark Jager. Mark Jager's in France. He's a frog. Ruben, Two of Marv, Matthew Rapier, Luke Hollywood, Simon. Oh, God. Hey. Here we go. I got to hit it again. Is it okay if I just fall asleep? It's gonna drive me nuts, Phoenix, for all week that I did that. Where was it? Luke Hollywood, drunk. Simon, Luis, Manship, Swanee, Josh Vermillion, Mark Robbins. That is Batman Beyond Mark. Never really spelled out his full name before, I don't think, but there you go. There you go, Mark. That's Brandon with an E. He's in Buffalo, Canada. He's also actually offered to have me go and visit him to see the Eagles-Bills and probably get even more sick. And Double A Ron doxing his ass in Minnesota. There's a big shout-out to our all-time greats, Reginald Drinkwater, Rob Lewis, R.I.P., Missing in Action, Eric L. Shea, pouring out for your homie. And that is it. Now I got to listen through the music because Eric would get really annoyed that I would say we have to listen through it and not end it. Nah, he's not listening, but I'm here to annoy him all the same. That's why he left. I think so. I needed him here to diagnose my illness by telling me that I'm a fool. But that is it for the intro. We'll get into the show. We're going to end up starting off with me and Dr. Matt. We're going to go through Aquaman, the other KO tie-in, and also Action Comics, a book that's kind of got a weird deal now. It just doesn't seem to fit anything after the summer of Superman, that is. Now we're in the winter of our discontent. But we'll be doing that. And then me and Brad will be together again, holding hands, walking through fields of daisies, talking about Batman and Robin, a book that sadly will be ending soon because Philip Kennedy Johnson is leaving DC and going exclusive to Marvel. And then also something else, right? The Green Lantern Corps, which I say at the beginning of that, I believe that book is headed for a downfall. Morgan Hampton on his own, not great. But we'll see if that gets better this week. Not great, but that's all there's going to be. So I hope everybody enjoys it again. If you want to hear more, we have plenty of other shows over at our Patreon, patreon.com/weird science. All the things that I say There'll be links in the show notes. So check that out as we go to me and Matt talking some Aquaman. All right, we're going to start the show with my man, Matt. What up, Matt?
What up?
What up is my temperature. And not because I'm mad at these books. I think that if you go, I think this show is going to be the Benjamin Button of sickness. You're going to end up hearing me really, really sick. I'll actually maybe get better by the end. Actually, by the very end, it'll be me now, so it won't. But we're recording it in different times. It's going to be weird because, boy, now that I'm actually talking, me and you were talking beforehand, my voice is screwed. It has a weird vibration to it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a deep with a little bit of
everybody.
Like a buzz to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has that weird buzz. But earlier in the week, that you'll hear later, I was talking and my head was so stuffed up that things that were said would end up vibrating my head. I don't have that now. So maybe I am getting a little bit better. But as of now, I feel like crap. But we're going to do these two books. Luckily, we don't have a lot of books this week. And I can get done and go back to bed. Unless my wife makes me go and get coffee again, even though she's fine and I'm sick. And she knows
in the middle of the snowstorm.
Yeah, in the snowstorm. Yeah. Like the idea where first off, the big story in the house is that, again, I feel like shit 24/7. I don't normally get a sickness, right? So when we got married, I would say I didn't really get sick for about 2 years into our marriage. And when I do get sick, probably, and I'm not going to say it's because it takes a big it's because I'm not used to it. Like I'm used to feeling like shit. But when I get sick, I do think that I really react in a way like, oh, crap, because I'm not used to it. So I got sick. I'm shivering. I'm telling her now, the idea that, maybe one time in 2 years, she would have been nice. I end up where I said, can you get me a drink? And she's like, ugh. So she goes downstairs, taking forever. So I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to go downstairs and see what's going on. So I go down. I hear her on the phone with her mom. Yeah, he's bitching and moaning. Oh, he's such a pussy. Oh, and I'm like, oh, God. So then she gets off the phone. She goes, I'll get you the drink. So she gets me a drink, and I'm like, oh. And it's a glass of water. I start drinking this water. She put baking soda in it to force me to throw up so I would shut up. But I wasn't sick like throwing up. Are you
serious?
Yeah. So I ended up throwing up on the steps. And then she was all upset, yelling at me about that. So I said at one point the other day, she's like, being nice, maybe, I'll get you a drink. I'm like, I ain't getting no drink from you. But I'm laying there and I'm shivering. I'm under an electric blanket. And this is the thing with this, whether it's whatever, I don't know, super flu. My fever broke like 20 times already. Usually when you wake up and you're drenched, you're like, oh, thank God. It's done.
Yeah, one time, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been all these times. So I end up where it's like one of these times I'm just drenched. And she's like, did you get us coffees? What the hell? What are my dreams? And then she's like, oh, I thought you were going to get coffee. So then I feel bad. And I said, I can make coffee. I just bought a coffee machine. And she goes, oh, I don't want you making coffee. I wanted it from Wawa. So I'm like, oh. So then I like roll over. And then she goes, oh, you're not going to go and get it? I'm like, here I go. I'm like, man. All right. So then I'm like, then it's the martyr gym is what I've been told, where I'm like, I'm huffing and puffing. I wasn't trying to. I couldn't find my shoes. I'm wearing shorts and a hoodie, sweat all over me. Go outside. It's snowing. Then I realized I had to get gas. Ay. Yeah. I was so angry. That's probably why I'm still sick.
It didn't help.
It's Wednesday. It's now Sunday. I don't think even when I had COVID, that 90 times I had it, that it lasted this long. This shit sucks. And Gray's got the super flu. You got Simon.
Yeah, thanks, Simon.
Yeah, really.
I still can't get over the baking soda in the water. That's crazy.
I guess that's a way to induce vomiting.
Well, maybe tell you that it's happening.
If she told me, I would have drank it. Somehow she thought that if I, you know how it is. If you're nauseous,
yeah.
Then if you do, I wasn't nauseous.
Yeah.
I think at that point it was just like standard flu. She made me do that all over. Oh, it was bad. People have now tuned out. It was the worst. It was so bad. So this has been, I'm like an old man. Every time something happens, it's the worst that it's ever been. But I swear to God, I've never been this sick ever. It's been so bad. Usually, and I think I said this to Simon on the Spotlight or maybe to Brad, usually I can still do things. I just feel like, oh man, I couldn't even get out of bed. I could barely get out for these 2 books. These are quick.
Are you able to take your normal medicine, or is that like get messed up?
I haven't even taken it. So this is the best. I came down here to record and I realized, boy, I haven't taken my Adderall since Wednesday. I'm like, yep, that's a little bit of money in the bank now. Wait till we get 2 weeks from now and I'm doubling up. It'll be the best. No, now it's great. Now I'll have some when somebody steals it from me.
You got a reserve.
Yeah, now I'm getting mad thinking about that deal and I'm losing my voice. Oh, we better get going. No more talking. And speaking of which, though, I end up saying to her, I'm like, oh, I gotta read. And she wanted me, oh, can't you take out the dog? And I'm like, I gotta read. Also, I'm sick. So she actually took the dog out. Our dog does not like the snow. But she did mention when I was coming down, oh, when you're done, maybe you could get us coffee. I did get a gift. I got a $25 gift certificate for Starbucks from YouTube. So I might use that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I ain't buying that on my dime.
That'll buy you 3 drinks.
$25. I'm going to get a shot. I'll get a cookie. But we have 2 books, one being KO, 2 of the KO books this week, but this is the one on the podcast here. If you didn't know, which I probably mentioned before, me and Simon talked about the Wonder Woman and Lobo on the Spotlight, and Simon being sick, possibly drunk, also tired, did a deep dive that Jason appreciated.
Oh, his deep dive rivaled Jason's.
Jason appreciated the deep dive and then said that at least I was there for the ride.
Yeah, you were.
He said.
You were the Reuben in this group.
I had no idea what was going on in that book.
Reuben?
Because, Joel Jones needed somebody to deep dive. If you, legit, I'm telling you, if you were confused by that Wonder Woman, Lobo, go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/weirdScience, and just sign up for the free trial just to listen, because Simon will explain to you what all that nonsense was about, because it did tie into something very specific that I had no idea.
Thank God he read that and knew about it. It was very
odd. And I think that just was, luck of the draw that Simon had read that. So this one, though, Aquaman, and it's Aquaman number 12. You don't need a deep dive. This is very quick. It's just the nature of the beast of these tie-ins in an event that really doesn't have, I'm telling you right now, the KO event, whether it'll end up being fun, whatever, it's not ever going to have that much substance. you're just fighting. You're going to have fights. So where you would get tie-ins, maybe can get something like a Titans actually was able to get the evacuation of Earth. That was a little thing they could grab from. There's not much else to grab from a fighting tournament that at times isn't even a fighting tournament. That rules are not rules. And you see in these where one thing that's been missing in events that you used to have, and me and Eric actually, and I think it was, I'm trying to think, maybe it was Future's End. It was one of those. Oh, no, it was that, what was that continuity one with Telos, Convergence. There was a set point that you would have in there was an earthquake kind of thing in that event that then would signal when you were and what would happen after. There's nothing like that in these events lately. So there's not even anything to, grip that way. So when you go into these, you can tell, and I've been told before, I haven't asked anybody for this event, but when I asked people, what did they tell you? What do you write? What do you get to do? They say nothing. They told us nothing. They said, just here's the two characters. This guy's going to win. Have fun. Right?
Yeah, because I was listening to Jeremy Adams' interview about something, and he basically is like, I don't know, ask Joshua Williamson.
Yeah,
like, they're just doing, he doesn't know anything that happens after this.
And that's the thing. They're not doing that because it's, who shot JR.
Yeah.
Right? They're not doing multiple endings so that you don't know how a movie ends like that. They're doing it because that's how they do it. They don't prepare enough, it seems, to let people know, and they don't want to be bothered. And I bet you I'm just guessing, when Jeremy Adams said that, did he have a tinge of annoyance?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Because when he had to do that whole Night Terrors deal, he asked, what is going on? And it was Joshua Williamson again. Hey, what should I do? What is this event? What does it end up? And he was told he was asking too many questions and that he was annoying people. So that's why,
Yeah, exactly what happened. Yeah.
And remember, that was probably the best Night Terrorist tie-in, was the Green Lantern that he did, because all he did was have Hal be a badass and just defeat the deal with the Night Terrors and the things like that played off like Freddy Krueger and Jason and things like that in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So he ended up where Hal just ended up, kicking ass. That's what he does again here. And again, you're given two characters and he's just told Aquaman will win.
I like the idea. You mentioned it, but it may on the spotlight, I think, with Simon. I think that like the Commandy challenge, remember that? Like,
yeah.
Where you would have a writer and an artist do whatever they do, and the next guy has to. So if that were the case here, like you say you had Hawkman win, then the next person would have to somehow figure that out and make, make adjustments from there.
Now, that would be, the thing is, Aquaman 12, Aquaman versus Hawkman, I gotta know who's gonna win.
Yeah.
And so I think that in this, I'm telling you, my score, normally, it would be kind of mid. You'll get those scores at the end, obviously. But I'm going to give a little heads up because I swear to God, it's Jeremy Adams giving the middle finger to Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson, where he's like, I'm not even going to play any damn games. I'm just going to end up, boom, Aquaman wins. Like most of these, and it's good because most of these have been the person we don't think is going to win wins the first round. And then the other, boom, boom. This was different. This ends up with him just doing something,
Aquaman,
and then pretty much just God powers.
He just wipes them out both times.
I think Jeremy Adams is like, I ain't even going to deal with this.
Yeah, this is my character, and I'm just going to have him crush the other guy.
And you're not going to tell me anything. I'm not going to get fancy. I'm just going to have him destroy him. This is, as I said, Aquaman number 12 of Gods and Men. Jeremy Adams writing, John Timms art, Rex Locust colors, Dave Sharp letters, Michael McAllister, Kevin, associate editor, Paul Kaminsky, editor. And you start out and you do have, at the very beginning, you kind of go into the fight already. And they say this is a fight of men, but also of gods. And then you kind of go where Jeremy Adams has done a good job, even in that Night Terrors, where he'll throw in a bit, but what can you do? I mean, really, what can you do here without, messing something up? So you have to go just basic bitch. You have to go so generic. So he has Aquaman with the regular crew. where Aquaman's been told, hey, there's this tournament, you're going to go off. And the rest of the, hey, we'll go with you. We'll do this. And he's like, no. And then, and I'll tell you right now, I'm sick of this Andrina. I don't even want to say that. It's such a lame, just say Andy. Like you did before. So Andy ends up like, hey, take this good luck charm. We've seen that she seems a bit sus. So you wonder what that is. Also, you wonder, is this something that Jeremy Adams was able to go through and say to, you know, Joshua, hey, I'm going to do this. Can you make this make sense later? Because you would hope that that would be something later in the event. Now, obviously, it could come up if there's, you know, another issue tie-in of this, that he'll do it himself. But I hope that that does something. I'm guessing it's that maybe it'll bring him back to life for one of the rounds, like one of the rounds that it looks like he's defeated and it won't be, or something like that, because we've been doing bullshit like that throughout. So,
or it just is a good luck charm and actually gives him good luck.
I just hope that it actually, like, he's about to lose and he grabs it and says, I'm going to do this for you, Andrina. I hope so. But he ends up going off, and Andy looks very happy. It's weird, but they end up where you get in the fight and it looks great. The art's really, really good. I think that John Timms does a great Hawkman. But in this, if you don't know like everybody knows Hawkman, but if you wanted to deep dive, you're not going to deep dive. You're going to get surface level stuff. And without knowing rules, without knowing anything, Aquaman just beats the shit out of Hawkman. Hawkman gets a couple blasts in, but not much. I mean, it's really
just crashes a giant wave on him. Like just drowns him.
This is the gist of this. Hawkman says, ha ha. Basically going, I think, with the kind of cliche, Aquaman does nothing out of water. You know, that joke, but not so cliche over the top. But he's like, hey, I fly. What can water do to me? And then Aquaman will just do what he normally does. Hey, water's everywhere. It's all over the place. There's water here. There's water there. There's water everywhere. And Hawkman reacts by saying, man, I didn't think there was water everywhere. And then goes, man, this Aquaman, he's pretty tough. I can't believe he's this powerful. Something happened in him. We're going to continue that whole play with Aquaman, with Jeremy Adams, is the ambiguously awesomeness of Aquaman's new powers, of being a god, of being part of the blue, of being an avatar of the blue, whatever it would be. It just keeps being mentioned. Man, these powers are great. Aquaman himself then will say to himself, I hope I can contain them. I hope I don't get corrupted. And I want to know more, but you're not going to get it here.
Well, wouldn't you say he's probably the most powerful character right now?
Yeah, he has to be.
More than Superman or anybody. Yeah. I mean, he's...
And if you're going to have a thing, it would have been kind of fun. Now, again, when you get an event like this, a lot of times, you know, sometimes I'm kind of smart enough to see things coming, where I'll say to people, I did when we had I forget what it was, but I said, hey, everybody, shit's going down in September. And then when that came, it happened. And so in this, it's funny because Mara, at one point, we think she was dead. If there was a lot of those things going on around, then I would have been like, okay, well, Aquaman's going to win but you could have really played this up in the universe. If you are going to reset, even if it's a soft reset by Superman, you could have had some really drastic things. Speaking of which, now I'm thinking too, I have already said that there might be a chance that you get a DH John when you end up having things reset. Now that I'm thinking of it, I think 120% Alfred will be coming back when they reset.
Yeah,
a soft
hopefully,
deal.
So, yeah.
And that would be where, if you played the idea, DC's always afraid to have, I always go with Tim Drake. When Tim Drake supposedly died in Detective Comics by James Tynion, they ended up where I was like, holy crap, like they showed by the end of the issue that he wasn't dead. Like they never went
you just
get
went
people
to
upset.
Like an alternate something.
Yeah, you went to
somewhere.
Remember, he was in Mr. Oz's prison with Doomsday next
just let
to
him be dead.
Yeah, let him be dead, even if it is for a month.
Yeah.
Even if it is, they're so afraid. But if you had Mara legit dead, this could have been, like, you could have had it in a lot of books, like subtly do it throughout. Alfred has been dead for a while. John aged. You could reset some things. But in the meantime, what you're going to get is, I think that what Jeremy Adams thought is, okay, this whole bullshit, it sounds like a video game. I'll give him a video game because that's what it is. You end up where there's waves coming in, like Aquaman's riding the wave. Some of the art is really, really good. Some of it is a little back. Like when Aquaman's riding the wave, he's so far back. Mm-hmm. I wish it would have been a spread page. It's so good. But yeah, he ends up where when you get that first KO, I swear to God, and it's just Hawkman drowning from a wave. I was like, really? Like
it was so fast. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, really?
Okay,
like,
there he's dead.
He just did it. And that's what I'm saying. I swear to God, I think it is a little wink, wink of a, screw you guys. You're going to make me do this. I'm going to make Aquaman kick ass, but I'm not really going to deal with anything because everything I ask, like, I'm sure, like, oh, well, what can Hawkman do? What? Hey, don't ask questions. Like, screw you. Yep. He drowned. So in that, he then goes, there's the big KO. And then you have Aquaman looking badass like a video game. And then we get the interlude, which is kind of funny having the interlude in the middle. I actually like it better this way because it makes the flow better in between the deal. So I do like the pacing of the issue. But you get the World Forger, where at one point, remember at the one point, World Forger looked like he was down with Booster Gold Darkseid last week.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know. It looks like he's about to cut his head off. But in this, though, he's against him. So he's yelling at Booster / Darkseid. It's really nothing. Again, this would be something that Jeremy Adams must have been told exactly what to do. And what to do is not much. It's just World Forger saying, hey, I'm going to take you down. You think you're good, Darkseid? Well, you think Booster this or that? And he's like, Booster's just a vessel. And he's like, well, if Booster's what you want. And then I'm like, oh, we got multiple men.
I thought it was funny when the multiple boosters were like making fun of the other one.
Yeah, it did remind me of Multiple Men.
Yeah, absolutely.
The deal. Yeah. And I remember the last Multiple Men deal I read, it was Matthew Rosenberg, where he did, and it like started, wasn't it that?
You got to read the Peter David stuff.
No, but I'm saying it started out like 2 issues in, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then it
might have been him.
Fell apart. I think it was him. I think it was that, or maybe somebody else I get mixed up with, but it was kind of funny. That's way back Brandon doing the, with an E, doing the podcast. But I kind of like Multiple Man. He's kind of good, but he's also goofy like this. That's what made me laugh. But it is funny. It's all different, I guess I don't know what you'd call it.
They're all just pulled from different universes.
The weird thing though is like
they're real, right?
The World Forger must be creating them in a way because if it's legit,
because then they're just dead. Like,
see, the thing is legit. The multiverse is supposed to be shut down right now. I believe so.
Then I don't know what it is.
To pull them. So it's just the World Forger making them though. But we'll say
do they have souls?
They could be pulled from maybe.
They're just cannon fodder. These
things? They have blonde hair. They don't have red hair. So yes, they have souls.
Okay,
but I do like it's like, hey, look at that asshole.
Yeah, look at that.
Hey,
bitch.
Look at him. He's on keto. And then they just gang pile him.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're nothing to me, nothing to Darkseid. And yeah, we see, and that'll continue on in the Wonder Woman Lobo deal where he just fights back if you haven't read that. But yeah, it's just to keep guys. All this is to kind of waste time until Darkseid enters the actual tournament himself. So you then go back to the tournament and you have round 2. And again, the play it's always going to be different, but it always
is there always more than one round of these stupid things?
Yeah, it seems like it's a best of 3.
Okay.
Best of 5.
But it's weird because the issue says we're in the second round of we're in the second round of the entire tournament, but we're also in round 2 of this.
Also, each issue they were claiming was a different round 2. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Now, they don't get it. They don't know how to do a tournament. So you end up where you have John Timms does that. Carter does look a bit too much like Cal, but he's there and he's like in the ether.
Yeah.
He's swirling around. He's like, oh my God, how am I going to end up, fighting? Arthur's become something bigger and better. He's become a god. They keep doing this. And then Horus comes in. I thought, man, that would be awesome. He's not Horus. Horus just came. I was like, if he's going to fight him in that form,
it'd be great. Yeah, he just gave him a little bit of his power.
Yeah, he's like, hey. And it basically, Horus comes in, and to me, he's like, hey, that Aquaman, he's a little OP. I better give you something. And he just it's fine. It's, a deal. In this, you end up where you could have played the idea of reincarnations and nonsense that shouldn't even be, but the idea that Joel Jones did with Lobo being the deal, like, you're in a tournament, have fun. So this is what it is. This would be a cut scene in between the 2 rounds where you press a button so that you can, up the ante, power up.
Yeah, it would have been more, for me, it would have been more interesting to see multiple Hawkmans going against Aquaman rather than all the booster golds.
And there's a lot.
Because there's so many different versions.
There's so many, and they're so cool.
Yeah.
Legit, when you say that, you've had a couple of these books now where they say pick your best version, right? We've had that.
Yeah, Captain Adams.
Hawkman might be the best one to have. Might have been the coolest one to have with how crazy cool his variations
Yeah, he's got 20 different versions.
Oh, you got so many. I mean, you had him in that Venditti Hawkman series. I wish I had
definitive origin.
He ended up where they all came to attack, and there's 70 of them. That would be awesome.
Yeah, Aquaman would have had problems with that.
And have them have some problems. That's where I think Jeremy Adams is screw this.
Yeah.
Have them have some problems. Maybe even use that good luck charm. But you end up, boom, you end up coming back. Aquaman's hanging out on the Ether Lighthouse, and they're just going to fight. And again, the big play is just going to be water, water, water. Hawkman comes in. It's not like he needs a power-up to think, I got to get this guy in space where there's no water, where he takes him, and then Aquaman's just no. And it's not really spelled out as great as it could have been, but basically the idea is, there's water. It's your blood. And he bends the blood. He ends up just ripping the blood out of Hawkman that just destroys him, just completely destroys him. Also, you did see that he got powered up a bit too by the heart. You have that. So there's always that.
He got some extra energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he needs it.
No.
And legit, Aquaman is so overpowered now with this. And also, I don't know what he can't do more than what he can. And so I don't see how he could lose. He's going to end up, something's going to happen where he either has to get really distracted or he's going to have to give up himself for the greater good or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see. But again, as long as the tie-ins have him fighting and they're in the Aquaman book, I think he wins. So we'll see what goes on. And if I was going to pick the people in this who I would think would do a good job, not that, I think he will win. The idea of, if they did win, they'd bring back the world pretty good. Aquaman would be up there for me. Aquaman's a good guy. I wouldn't think anything of it. Be funny. Everybody ends up where suddenly there's no land. It's water world. Kevin Costner's there getting his 12-cent residual check. You end up where he just rips the blood out of him, like I said. Just destroys.
It maybe takes a little bit out, which makes him pass out or something. We don't really know what happens.
Now,
he crashes him into the earth.
Yeah, and blood everywhere.
Yeah.
He does then say, I can make him as still and stagnant as a pond. I am the dark tide. Are we supposed to think that at this point that he's being corrupted a bit by the heart by saying that? But it doesn't really play it out because he has kind of been like this the last bunch of months since this whole deal with him getting these godlike powers. I think that one thing Jeremy Adams might lean into, if it does, continue and Aquaman doesn't just get ousted, will be that idea of now with the heart and the blue that he doesn't really understand and can't control sometimes, that he might be going a little dark. But we'll see. And that would be a cool twist. Also,
it's going to have to be something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because then if he's going against Superman, and you're like, oh my God, he's insane. You have to have a reason why you want. If Aquaman's not going to win, you need a reason why you don't want him to win because he's so overpowered.
Well, based on this right here, he is the winner.
He's
the winner.
This,
so I think he can win the whole thing. So I think something's going to happen to him.
And I think that the idea of him saying "I'm the dark tide" seems to make you think. And now
it's foreshadowing.
What maybe will be that maybe Andy's pendant deal will be what brings him back, grounds him.
Because you can see he's wearing it there.
Yeah, it's there. So maybe that'll be the deal. If he goes too far, bad, that'll be able to bring him back. Even if it's just by looking at it, but I think it'll be some magical thing.
It falls off him and he gets even more dark.
Or it falls off him and then he's good.
Or then
she's been corrupting him.
Yeah,
she's
could
bad.
be that too.
Yeah, we'll see what it plays out as. But it says round 3 erupts. DCKO Wonder Woman versus Lobo.
That's round 3? Why would round 3 be in that? The book that comes out the same time?
And that's the thing that because they don't know these rounds. And if you haven't read them, just because of that interlude on the Watchtower with World Forger and Darkseid Booster, you read this first, then the Wonder Woman that ends up going from. But it does say next it's Mara, so I think this is it for Jeremy Adams in this book. So we'll see how.
A better suggestion would be to read this and then not read the Wonder Woman Lobo, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a better suggestion is just wait till everything's done and read the main story.
I enjoyed this.
This is okay.
I just liked him just beating the crap out of Hawkman. I mean,
again, it's the same thing I said Night Terrors with Hal.
Yeah.
You get the main character in the book. If you are reading Aquaman, you like Aquaman, you get to see him kick complete ass, and it's fine. If you're here for the event, you did not need to read this. The only thing it'll serve, if you haven't been reading Aquaman and you're reading and you read this, at least it gets you up to speed of Aquaman having these godlike powers. That's about it. But if you know that already, it doesn't really do much, but it's fine. It's what it is. I said at the beginning, the nature of the beast, but what would you give it?
I think I'll go 7 on this one. I think I like the action and but I enjoyed it.
I'll go 7 as well.
Yeah, more than some of the other KO stuff. Yeah.
It doesn't try to be anything because it really can't. So again, some of the issues, they try to muck it up like they can be. I'm telling you, that Joelle Jones, that Wonder Woman Lobo, it mucks it up just because you don't know what to do. Doesn't mean to go way off the reservation. You don't need to go crazy. No, I'm going to get canceled. Here we go with the next book. The next book is an odd one. I have problems with it. I do like the cover. I'll tell you.
The cover?
That crazy Superboy. That guy needs to go to leg day. One time. I think he's on keto. Look at him. Oh my goodness.
If I bought this comic, I would when I put it in the bag and board, I would turn it backwards. I hate this cover.
Look at that. It looks like that old man that was in that freaking Unforgiven video by Metallica. Was that the one? The guy like retching around. It freaking weirded me out. I like that song. I couldn't watch that video. Made me weirded out because he had like a loincloth on. Thought the shit was going to fall. This is Action Comics number 1093, written by Mark Waid, art by Skylar Partridge, colors by Ivan Placencia, letters by Steve Wands, assistant editor Gillian Grant, and senior editor Brittany Holzer. And probably doing selfies, something. Yeah, this book is me and you like it enough, right? Do you in your mind? Do you? I still get it mixed up sometimes with Superman Unlimited.
I do. I absolutely
these two
do.
Books, like they cancel each other out.
I thought that Dan Slott was writing this for a minute.
I'm telling you, they cancel each other out to make neither book anything, and it's just this has to end. And I do think that again, when you have now, I don't think they'd renumber Action Comics, right?
They never would.
So no, I think they're going to go forward with the numbering even if they do the soft reset. But I think we will get a new writer, or at least a new way of the direction. Not the Superboy deal. But I think that Mark Waid came on here to just fill the gap because they didn't want to go and get a new writer to then have them only write 8 issues to get another writer. I mean, not a lot of good writers around. They're not falling off of trees. So I think that maybe they have somebody in mind. It's a shame for some people that maybe they would have even went back to like a Phil Kenny Johnson, though it's hard. When you go back to things, that's like you admit that you screwed something up, so they wouldn't, but he can't do it now anyways. He's at Marvel. Hopefully something in the X-Men books, so we don't have to deal with it.
Oh, great.
Ruben and Jason. They'll like it. They like everything. They're like Mikey, for crying out loud.
They really do.
I'll give them credit. At least they enjoy it. Me and you bitching and moaning. There's the sunshine over there. So you end up, though, where it's just a weird state. Like, does it really matter? And is it fun? Like, the idea of this, at one point, I think we were having some fun with it. I'm not really having a lot of fun anymore. And it feels like it's just treading water to get to something else, which I think that's what they're doing.
This issue is weird. I mean,
I'm telling you, going from that cover, look at him there. The look on his face looks like something awful is happening. But he has the notice of foreclosure. This ends up being like this weird little detective case. It's pretty much a one-shot.
He's way too like intelligent or well-spoken or informed or something.
Also, that and Pa and Ma Kent got to get off their damn high horse.
They're a bunch of idiots.
I'm sitting here yelling the whole time. First off, Mark Waid is showing, Ma and Pa Kent. They're giving the lessons. It really, to me, it's Pa. Every time Ma says something, he picks his hand up and she shuts her mouth because it's mostly Pa. Pa's just, and I do think it's like my buddy, Big Bob. That's like 800 pounds, right? God bless him. R.I.P. Went down racist, that guy. But in the meantime, he got a job. He finally got a job that he was proud of. He was a chef at Denny's. And he went to work and he ended up with his first paycheck. He bought a bunch of steaks from Denny's, brought them home and said, Dad, I wanted us to all have a big meal and whatever. His dad took the steaks and threw them out the window. Like literally threw them out the window and said, what do you think? You're better than me. And started beating him up because he thought that Bob was trying to show him up by bringing steaks. Like, I think that's Pa. He's like, you don't bring no gold here. You're making me look bad in front of my woman. That's what he's saying. Well, I was so mad when he's going with
Well, the whole thing's weird, too, because as he's opening this letter that he hasn't read it yet, but he's saying to his wife, hey, thanks for getting a new job. Did she get the job because she knew they were in financial straits, or she got the job because she was bored, or what?
Here's the thing. What I've realized with Mom and Pa Kent, this farm is always 2 days away from being lost. So she ended up getting it. I don't know. Is that Mark Waid like, I better do that so that people don't complain, like, what the hell's Martha doing? You know what I mean? Like, that the farm's going down. He's doing the farming. She's making cookies.
Working at a store or whatever.
Well, it's an antique store. Yeah. I think that he wanted to preemptively not have people like, get that lazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird.
Yeah, so it was weird. So they were already... I think that you're supposed to be led like the idea, like foreclosure. Well, we're up to date, but we could be in problems because if they lose the farm for a week, they're done. So it's done that way. But she's off. I like that she's off working and he's there with that. Look at that sandwich. And what does he have there?
Yeah, is that like potato wedges?
And I either potato wedges.
Or
those
chips?
Are like apple wedges. Get that the hell out of here. I don't know.
I don't see any meat on the sandwich either. No, I see cheese, lettuce, tomato, and...
Yeah, what a lame sandwich. Look at that. There's a lot of lettuce on there. No, times are tough.
Shouldn't he be out like plowing the fields or something? What's he doing?
Well, what's he doing? He wants a Coke. He's like, I want a soda with my lunch. And then Martha's on there. It's like,
you got the diabetes.
The sodium. He's like, Jesus Christ. I know what he's talking about.
I like how he just has the hat like propped up on top of his head too, like not really pushed down.
It's the high rider. He's got there going. He's a good looking dude. Look, first off, Pa Kent already having problems with the sodium. Jeez. But he's like, I know, whatever. I got a craving for something else. Get your ass home.
This is like peak banging age for these guys.
Yeah. And he sees the foreclosure. He's like, oh my God. What time does the bank close?
Yeah.
And he goes off to the bank. In the meantime, you have Lana, who's in love with Superboy really quick. She's about to step in the wet cement.
It's like they could have just made her using a cell phone now, but they don't have cell phones back in the day, so they had to have her looking up in the clouds.
It's like the joke where, look at the dead bird and somebody's looking up.
Yeah.
But she's looking up like, hey, Lana, eyes on the road. Oops. I would have laughed. They're like, should we tell her? I would have laughed if she went right in that cement.
Doesn't it look like the cement is raised up above the ground too?
Yeah, I guess it is a bit, but you got the what's it called around it?
Yeah, the wood frame, but it seems like it's not going to be flush with the actual.
The one bit of what happened to that thing? It's probably Superboy probably landed, throwing the cement. It's like half of the budget. So then they're walking around. She's like, oh my God, Janie Peters said she saw Superboy here an hour ago.
Yeah, he's jealous of his own self, which is kind of messed up.
It's funny, though. Yeah. But again, what usually happens in this, like in anything, Invincible, Superman, whatever, he'll show up in her bedroom, start banging. But yeah, so then they see Pa. Hey, he's at the bank. Clark already hears that there's problems, sees what's going on. Then it becomes It's a Wonderful Life. they're all yelling, hey, your money's in your place. And everybody's farm is being taken away. It's kind of odd. The one lady with like that red hair is very odd. The way that
it's not a very diverse group, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, it's a small town. So you end up, they're all yelling. What's going on? You got a guy in his overalls, and fucking guy.
And then Lex Luthor,
he's not going 90s, where he has the one thing unbuttoned. That look, I hate it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course.
Oh God! Like I'm like, hey, Dexy's Midnight Runners, get the fuck out of here. So yeah, then make the guy look something different.
It's Lex
right?
Luthor.
Yeah. Is this the idea where it's like Clark's like, I realize why I hate bald guys, but he ends up where this guy's so swarmy too. But he ends up, hey, this is a bank problem. We'll deal with it. But in the meantime, the law says we get it, all this. You know, this guy's bad. You almost think that the twist at the end is going to be that he isn't. And that would be where Clark learns the lesson of don't think all bald guys are evil. That's not the case.
I think he's bad because he's wearing 2 rings on his pinky fingers. Maybe that's.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Also, I swear, I don't know why, but when he gets up and he says, look, this isn't. I swear to God, he has the coat over his arms, though he doesn't. I hate that look too. But he's like, it's like Mr. Regal.
Yeah, he's wearing it like a cape.
Yeah, but he wasn't. But it looks like that a bit.
I see a lot of women doing that. Guys really,
I don't like that. I do like some of the reactions from some of these people too. But they're all just yelling, hey, this is bull crap. We're up to date. We do this. And he says, hey, because they said things have been a little weird since Old Man Stone retired. I blame that guy. But since this new guy, and he's the new sheriff in town, I'm going to do this Armitage. I don't even like the
Armitage.
Name. Yeah. So all of a sudden, then a guy comes in with a shotgun, and he's like, "Hey, nobody move!" And everyone's like, "Oh crap!" He's wearing his clothes.
He's wearing his hat. Like he's like you going to rob a bank with your Eagles hat.
I got everything. My Eagles, my hoodie. I got a name tag. Yeah. So he comes in. Pete sees and says, "Hey,
Coach.
Don't do it, Coach Dale." Coach Dale looks at him and goes, I don't know what you're talking about,
It looked like
kid.
Coach Dale wanted to blow his head off.
He points the gun at Pete. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, kid. Coach, half the folks here, he's like, Coach, we're not dumb. We know it's you. You're wearing your stupid hat. He's like, Jesus Christ, I thought I took my hat off. And then this other guy, actually it's Pa, right? Mm-hmm. Who comes in and says, Pete's right, Jerry. Don't throw your life away. We can fix this. Well, first off, I'm thinking Jerry's life is already thrown away. He's screwed. Also, when you get to the point, I get that Pete stepped up. Pa's the one who kind of disarms him. And the guy, like, they make Pete this big hero.
Yeah, he got a full page spread on the front.
Moly. Yeah, front page news.
Ross Boy averts tragedy.
Yeah, Ross Boy. Like, even that. Then I'm thinking, no, Lana's going to have it for him now. But yeah, he ends up stopping this. But in the meantime, Clark the whole time, thinking in my mind, you're going to get a Man of Steel moment here. And I thought that it was going to be Mark Waid is going to be like, okay, Man of Steel, Clark didn't do, but I'm going to show you that he should. He doesn't because Pete steps up. But it was Clark looking at, Pa, should I do this? I can't get anywhere. He says, the best is he says, if I go to run away to change, Coach Dale's going to shoot my ass. But I won't die, so how can I explain it? It seems like what he's saying, so he doesn't do it, but Pete steps up. And everybody else is, like, shitting their pants. Mm-hmm. Coach Dale should be arrested, but no charges were filed by this Armitage.
Yeah, because he didn't want to gain attention.
Yeah, we find later that it's the attention, but what attention is Smallville? I mean, that's the thing. Wouldn't the attention of Ross Boy averts tragedy of an armed guy, a masked armed Coach Dale? What do you say to Coach Dale the next day at practice?
Yeah.
Like, hey, we run in the shotgun formation, Coach Dale, you prick. That's what I would say. So he's like, no, we're doing the Wildcat like we always do, asshole. But you end up where Clark seems upset. He didn't do anything, but you see, he's upset. But I thought he was mad at Pete. Like, that would have been like, oh, man, now we got some drama going on. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought that would be
stole the spotlight.
Cool. Yeah, like it should have been me. I can't do it. And yet all you did was stand there. And if he would have shot you, you would have been dead, you moron.
And then my dad came in and actually did it, but you're getting credit. And
then my dad's there bragging about you when he knows I'm always within earshot and he wouldn't let me do anything because there's a So, but he's actually going to solve this. He's going to do this. And this is a play. It happens in any comic, especially Superman. It happens in Aquaman show that we just talked about. The idea of how do they make money? Like Aquaman at points, you'll see, especially Silver Age and stuff, that even Golden Age, he'll go around and get pearls. He'll go and talk to the deal, get pearls, and that's how he'll make money. Superman will do various things like this. We had on the show way back in the Bad to the Bone, Superboy, who's always bad, he ended up where he needed money because Pa took away his allowance, and so he went and got rare tropical fish and sold them in town to then buy whatever he wanted off of Pa. Remember, that was when Pa ran a hobby store or whatever. So he goes and he gets a big chunk of gold, then breaks it up and starts juggling it for some reason.
What does that gold remind you of? I can tell you exactly what it reminds me of. Remember in
Golden Poo?
Yeah, American Dad.
That's what it is. It's the Golden Poo.
Roger's Golden Poo.
Shit is about to go wrong. People die. Yeah, he's juggling it. He's like, hey, and he says, I just got the gold from the abandoned coal mine we saw on vacation. Turns out if you dig deep enough, there's gold. Kind of just figured it out. Pa goes, no. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why?
He's freaking out, too.
I understand you not wanting to pull attention to places. Now, again, where are you going to explain things or whatever? You could come up with it, but you could save in that. That gold there is not just saving all of Smallville. It's getting everybody new tractors. their deal now. Pa, I think that he's afraid where he's going to fence the shit. But the idea where this could solve everybody's problem, and I get this idea. Hey, you don't want to take shortcuts, but this seems beyond that. This seems of, would do this not for my monetary gain. Like, he's not there like, man, we could do this and we're going to have a pool, whatever. Like, all of a sudden, you could have played the idea that Clark said, we could do this and now we could have a gold-plated tractor. No. We're just going to make this right for now. We'll figure it out, but we're going to end up where then you could even get a hold of the people who have the abandoned mine. Now they're rich as hell. You help them.
I think it's justifiable because the things that are happening to them are against their control. It's not something that they didn't do. That it's being negatively forced upon them.
Your Pa and Ma are pretty sure that they're up to date on their bills.
Yeah, they paid all their bills.
Everybody else in
town. Yeah.
You think something must be nefarious.
Yep.
You need some time. Obviously this gold here, Ma is like enthralled by it. She wants shit from this thing. So in the meantime, you're doing something to help everybody out. And in the meantime, figure some things out. And then at the end, the lesson would be, hey, we'll give the rest of the gold back and tell these people or help them mine, whatever it would be. But it is that play. And I've just read too many Superman, the Superboy comics where he has done like this times 20, but it's the lessons. But again, what I get is Pa's lesson. He has a book, Lessons for Superboy, page 1, lesson 1, don't do shit. Page 2, lesson 2, read page 1.
Yeah.
That's all he does. He doesn't allow him to do anything. And this is a little bit different. What Clark should do is go off to those other people, give them the gold, they'll use it, and then Mom and Pa, they lose the deal. But the whole play is, I know he means well, and he's got to do this, but we can't do it. No shortcuts. What do you do one day when you don't have powers? So to me, Superboy's like, what I do then is start stockpiling the gold. That's what I'm going to do. Again, that's not here nor there now. That you're not doing anything now. And again, I get it. And it's played off as a black and white moral deal that you're going to teach Superman to do this later. Superboy learns the lesson. But in the meantime, he's pissed. And he flies off with that gold. He drops it in Gotham. A young Bruce Wayne picks it up and becomes even richer. But yeah, so then he goes again. Why isn't Pa yelling that he's helping people load up the tractors as Superboy? He wasn't allowed to cut wood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's stepping over a line here. Yeah,
he's doing all this stuff. I love where he's like got that piano.
Oh, these people left. They didn't even wait around. They just bounced.
Yeah, they're gone. They're done. And so then we get another shotgun
I love all these old dudes with their old wives and their shotguns and their overalls.
The wife just wants him to come in for some pecan pie or something. He's like, this guy's like, get off my land. And again, it's played off like you could see this as a, live action where it's like, come on now, Frank, like, it's us. We're all friends here. We all know you don't have to do this. We're there. And he's like, you're with them. And then Superboy comes in and startles old Frank, though I don't know. Frank murder, but ends up where Superboy gets shot, but he just gets the buckshot and throws it down and says, hey, officers, don't get upset. They're grabbing guns, about to shoot the old lady, and he's about to have a heart attack. And he's like, he didn't mean to do that. I startled him. And then old Frank, who just got his ass saved, says, you're with the bank to the Superboy, to just get Clark even more upset. So he's like, yeah, you're here for the bank. So then Superboy's like, I'm just going to take it to the source. He goes to see this Armitage. Well, first off, he goes to Metropolis to talk to the main ranch head. Yeah. And says, hey, lady who looks amazingly like Lois Lane.
I love this lady because she's way too hot for the purpose of this.
This lady is so hot, right? Holy moly.
When she comes in later?
I could just imagine. First off, Clark says that he flew her in.
Oh, my God. Her skirt was flying up
and down. I don't know what that means. If it's
I don't know either.
But also, boy, she got gussied up to go to Smallville. But she's there at her desk. I'm like, okay, Lois, right?
So, it's like future Lois. Yeah.
So, again, you kind of get funny plays where you could be like, hey, he realizes he's got a type. Look at her. Powerful woman. But he goes, she can't really do anything. So then he goes to talk to Armitage face to face. This personal guy, this, secretary guy's real nice until he finds him rooting through things. He's not really subtle, right? It's really great what he's doing. It just reminds any other scene like this would be him changing his grades or something like that. But he's there and he's like, okay, well, I'm going to talk to this guy. I kind of think something's up. I'm going to figure it out. Maybe though I can explain to him. And he'll realize that, hey, he's a nice guy. This guy isn't a nice guy. So while he's there, he's like X-ray visioning through his files and finds that indeed this guy isn't on the up and up. Right away, you figure that this Armitage is going to show up, but instead it's this guy, young man, the door to you. And he's like, oh, crap. So he's gone. Now, he's doing some bad stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Later, Paul has less problems with all this bullshit than just finding random gold.
Well, this is just white collar crimes. He's cool with those.
That's true. Plus, he ends up realizing that I guess when you do find out the guy's bad, when the guy looks up in this, people are small, it's Lex. But he ends up where he realizes that all this has been set up. This guy came in to be the bank head. He's made it so. And again, the play is the people have paid their bills. He has made a glitch that they're going to have to look into it. When they look into it, that means the farms are shut down for that amount of time, which then makes them done. They're never going to survive. They spelled that out. And then he swoops in and you end up having them. He's already made these deals with it. Again, funny play. The guy looks like Lex. Go with the Superman Returns where it's a big real estate deal that this guy is involved with. But Superboy goes above, like he's towering over everyone, lording over him and yells, hey, I ended up finding out the secrets. And this is the weird play. He doesn't have the evidence, but he yells kind of like he does. Mm-hmm. He knows what's going to happen. So this guy runs off to then get it. And when he does grab it, that reveals it to hot-ass Bankhead.
Oh, my God.
Who then, geez, and you get the butt shot and everything. And she's like, let me see that briefcase. I'm like, I'd like to see your briefs, lady.
I'm sure Superman already did with that X-ray vision.
Damn right. That's the only... I mean, why would any kid ever in the back of a comic, the minute any boy was going to get those X-ray things, there was no other thing that they wanted to do.
That would be your entire life's mission if you had those goggles from a young age. You would do nothing other than that.
All you wanted to... And it was
your entire
legit.
Life.
Boobies.
That's it. Whatever.
That's all it was. It was, I'm going to get those.
It would never end.
I'm going to wear them at school and look at the boobies. That's it. That's all. There was nobody like, I'm going to get those X-ray goggles so that I can go and look in my yard to see if there's some hay pennies. No, it was boobies. So you end up, the guy tries to run away and he gets caught. Hot-ass woman says, take this. I'm going to take this. You're out. Everybody is saved. They're there except for the people that left, I guess. Somebody better call them to do a Yui.
And that lady was sus too, but she was like less sus, I guess. So.
Yeah, I guess she was just following the rules. And she was in her penthouse deal. She didn't know what was going on. So you end up where you have Clark then eating a ton of food.
Oh, my God.
Including that what
was this? What was that? Superman versus food or whatever? That's what this is.
Yeah,
right?
Superman Meshy.
Yeah.
I hate the way that the way that these things, it looks like it's like when you have Glob at Marvel where you can see through them, like some of these bags. Is that
weird,
just
right? Ma just bagging them up in little Ziploc
bags?
She's
sealing them up different ways.
And I have a major problem with somebody just drinking a gallon of milk. It's just
he's just
for
guzzling
lunch.
It. Remember when you'd have that on like the TikToks and the things that people would upchuck?
Yeah.
Guzzle
you can't
milk.
physically do it, but it's just a weird drink choice for lunch.
I don't like those. Look at those pickles. That's what I don't like.
I don't like the look of the shirt he's wearing either. It's stupid.
Also, look at it. At one point, he's got lunch meat maybe in a bag, but then he's got a whole fucking ham. I swear to God, he's holding a ham. And then a turkey.
In today's economy, too, that's about what, $150 worth of food?
Well, you better go get that gold. That's what he needs. If they're going to go there as a grocery, it says on the thing, groceries. They need that gold to buy the next round.
It's like, he's eating it. You save money when you eat at home, but this guy's like,
and look at him. He's just chucking them into his mouth. Like they're playing cards or something. I don't even know what he's doing.
He's not even tasting it.
It's hungry hippos here. He's going nuts.
And then he says, where's my dessert?
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Yeah. Ma is looking at him very intrigued, it seems. Pa ends up as like, how does he eat so much? Like, I've never known. And there he is just going to town. On the cover, it looks like he hasn't eaten a sandwich in a year. But it's there. And then he explained all the things to Pa.
I thought he was just way over explaining everything.
Yeah. Well, again, they explain everything that we just did.
Yeah.
Just for then to have Pa say, hey, if there was absolutely no other way to undo all the damage before it was too late, would you have done that? Would you have stolen those contracts if you had to? Well, first off, let's go back to the gold.
Yep.
You weren't stealing anything then, and you said that was wrong. But
they still have the gold. Oh, he took the gold with him. Superman did. Yeah. Superboy did. So
damn right.
He took it off to the Fortress of Solitude.
His fortress of whatever it is now. He has it hidden. He's like, I know what you want me to say. Is this so you can lecture me? And he says, no. It's to help you and this old man understand the kind of decisions a Superboy has to make. Never answers. But you end up where then they show that in Medora, they're running into problems. The intel was bad. The army's there. They're in big trouble. And General Lane has plans for super soldier Superboy. And he's drawing it up like nobody ever would. You know what I mean?
He's got graph paper.
Yeah.
He is sitting there, Major General, during the midst of major war.
He's sitting there
sketching.
They're yelling. Also, I love that they have a direct line to his desk. And they're like, General, we're in big trouble. We need help. He's like, wait a second. I'm almost done my sketch.
Yeah. And he's one of those guys with the fancy eraser, too. He doesn't use the regular nub eraser. He's got to have his own pencil sharpener.
Yeah, he's got that eraser. He's got the double. Like, if he wants a really thin deal. And then they're like, what are you doing, General? Listen, I'm getting ready for the Christmas season. I have a really great toy that I'm designing. It's called the Super Soldier. They're like, we're fucked.
Yeah, GI Superboy.
They're just calling to his desk. he's just
so is this what we're
drawing shit.
Is that what we're getting next issue? Just like, where's the next cover of the next issue, DC? What are we doing?
It reminds me, again, we said that reminds me of that John Romita Jr., Superboy Year One. Where Superman Year One, when Superman was in the army, it was the freaking worst thing ever.
Yeah.
That was really funny. Bad. This might be. Again, I mean, if he goes to Superboy and says these people are in trouble, Superboy's now, the way things are now, I'm sure Mark Waid would have him say first off, well, I can't really get involved in this, but if they're in danger, I'll go help them, but I'm not there for this or whatever. But then at the end, it will be, now we're going to clone your ass. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, Super Soldier Clark, our Superboy at war. So we'll have fun. with that, if this was back in the day, this would obviously have been a World War II, but we're not. So we are back in the year
Afghanistan
one deal. You have it's Medora. It's just going to be everything rolled up into one.
A generic, just
bad place. To me, it feels more like Afghanistan type of deal. But yeah, they were told shit wasn't going to be problems. They were told wrong. They went in. I'm blaming that the intel came at the time when Tom King was part of the CIA. He ended up messing it up. I'm just saying it right now. That's what it was. Tom King screwed up. But what would you give this?
I think I give this one also. I give this one a 7 too. It was enjoyable enough.
It was very. Here's the thing: you start off, you go in, you see a guy who looks like Lex Luthor. Everybody's yelling that they're up to date on their payment. You know this guy is sus. You know he's been bad. It's no shock, but you had some fun getting to the end. But there was no twist. You knew this guy was bad. It was just going to be how the Superboy really was. How does Superboy save the day without Pa getting on his ass?
Yep.
Is what it was. And it was
How does
fine.
he work around Pa's nonsense?
We do have fun with this book of just the weird stuff surrounding it.
There's nothing else. There's no other books like this. I mean, it's out there.
It's that hot-ass lady.
Yeah.
She was pretty
she elevated the score a little bit for me.
Holy. I like her just sitting there like nobody's business. It's like, what was she doing? Everybody's just sitting at desks, like doing nothing. But that was pretty good. But that's it for me and you. These two books. We're going to go off. We only have two other books. I did tell you what they were, and now I forget.
Oh, yeah. What did you say?
Green Lantern Corps
and
Batman and Robin. I kept forgetting Batman and Robin.
That's it. No retro book of the week or anything?
No. It's because of the whole play.
No Wonder Woman's greatest hits?
No, we'll be doing that eventually. Shit has been going wrong. And
sick.
By the time that happened, I was sick. And me and Stork were catching up with things. We'll get back to the retro deal. But even then, I said that was where I started sounding a little off, was when me and Stork did our book of the month, which if people wanted to know for December is Berserker by Matt Kint and Keanu Reeves, which I've never read. And I was...
How did you avoid that?
I don't know. It came out. I'll tell you, I avoided it because I heard the first issue was oversized.
Oh.
But it was quick.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's good. I liked it. I liked that first issue a lot. So with all of that, that is it for me and you. We'll go off to those two books and end what should be a pretty quick podcast. So thanks for joining me, Matt. And away we go.
Hey, everybody. With the weather getting cold outside, wouldn't it be great to go on a cruise, a Caribbean cruise, if you would? Well, there's something that could be even greater if you're a comic book fan, which I would hope you are listening to the podcast. You can go on Comic-Con The Cruise, the ultimate vacation for fans of comics, gaming, popular arts, and warm weather. It's a 5-day nonstop fandom fun with panels, theme parties, while sailing in the Caribbean. I mean, everything that I say about this, there's the bonus of it's in the Caribbean. So with all of that, this is pretty cool. It is a Comic-Con on a cruise ship. You get everything that a Comic-Con would have, except you're on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. See, it works. It works. You just add that at the end. It's like one of the comic solicits with at the end of every sentence, will Gotham be the same? Will they ever recover? Just add after everything I say, you're on a cruise in the Caribbean. It just works out. You have Artist Alley, panels, workshops, late night conversations that feel like the heart of a Comic-Con, just a bit more personal. And it's in the Caribbean. This all takes place from January 30th through February 3rd, 2026, obviously. So you got to get on this, and you can spend some pretty chilly days and nights in the Caribbean. And it's great. And you could end up talking with creators, talking with the artists, with the writers in a more relaxed setting. I believe that they will open up a bit more. There'll be a bit more, fun is what I would guess, because they're not crammed into some auditorium sweating and all that nonsense. Maybe you would be sweating, but it's because you're in the Caribbean. It's a 4-day luxury cruise that fuses fan favorite elements of the Comic-Con community with unique, interactive, and immersive experiences designed exclusively for fans just like you. Now, this is legit the ultimate fan adventure. And if you want to know who is going to be there, as they call the talent, you can go to a link in our show notes that will get you right to that. But Also, you can learn more and see the full 2026 lineup, including host Felicia Day and a star-studded roster of fantasy, sci-fi, comic people, and more at comicconthecruise.com/weird science. Book a new reservation with the promo code WEIRD, WEIRD, for those like me who can't spell, to get $250 off your cabin. Again, you go to comicconthecruise.com/weird science, book a new reservation with the promo code WEIRD, and you get $250 off your cabin. I want to thank Comic Con The Cruise for sponsoring this episode, and let's get back to the show.
And we'll continue with my man, Brad. What up, Brad?
Hey, Jim.
Hey.
I went to AI for some catchphrases that I could use.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear some of them?
Yeah, I'd love to hear AI's catchphrases.
All right. So you say, "What up, Brad?" I say,
"What up, Brad?"
I say, "Hey, Jim, truth, justice, and deep comic cuts. Let's go."
All right. AI sucks. AI's their basic bitch. That's what it is. Is there any triple B?
How about suit up, heroes? Time to talk DC. Should we do that one?
Sounds like some failed Eric shit from the beginning with that. What is it? DC After Dark, whatever the hell he used to claim. That nonsense. He used to have some catchphrases people liked, and then once somebody said something like, "Oh, I love when Eric says, what up?" What I can't even remember what was it. It was like hip shakers and move makers or whatever he used to say. And once one person complimented, he didn't want to do it anymore. He said that he was becoming too contrived, so he would do his other things, and also the See You in 7, all that stuff. He would
See You in 7 stuck around forever.
Yeah, but he would get all upset about stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's why he left. We're still trying to figure out.
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. You don't do the on the outros anymore. Have a great week. Keep it weird, and see you in 7.
No, that's his thing. That ain't my thing. I just say, "See you later." See you later, suckers. I should just be like, "Hey, jerks, get the hell out of here." But yeah, I wouldn't do. It's like, what is it? Hip shakers and
I don't remember that one. That might have been before my time with the podcast.
That was the intro. He would always do that. That was
at the very
ridiculous. But here we are. None of those AI things worked. Where you have to be like, yo, what up in the house? That's what I want to hear. But here we are.
Earth, Infinite Stories, one podcast.
Yeah. AI is great. What was your prompt? What did you put? Give me catchphrases for a DC Comics podcast as a co-host. Is that what something of that?
Yeah, something like that. So some of them originally were like, they were whole intros, which doesn't work. And then I said, give me some call and response, but then you would have had to have been in on it.
I would have had to have been like, yo, what up?
And then you'd have to set it up with some cheesy DC stuff, and then I would, hit it.
Well, and you put your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care.
No, they were very, very comic-y.
Yeah.
So the one I got these was just give me a catchphrase for when I join a DC Comics podcast.
Oh.
That's what it is.
Now you got me one, and I'm going to have to load up some things by the end. We'll get it. You'll hear me typing away to do that. First off, I have to get to the AI. I'm going to put, what would a basic bitch deal is what I could put. And then it's like, hey, basic bitch in the house. I'm going to do it right now.
That one had crossed my mind. I think I might have even mentioned it before, but I don't like it. I don't like being a basic bitch.
Give me a catchphrase. What I'm trying to think of how I would give me a catchphrase to intro into a DC Comics podcast that is cool and would hit with the kids. That's what I'm gonna put.
Hello, fellow kids.
You're gonna be like, "Hello, 6'7". That's cool, and we'll hit with the kids. It's not gonna give me anything good. Hit with the kids. I can't type. I'm so sick with the kids of today. The youth of today. I should have put. I'm going to put that.
The youths.
The youths of today. The youth of today. And I need a list, actually. I don't want them to just give me a list of catchphrases. Give me a list of... Oh, you should see this typing.
Catchphrases for a podcast.
Catchphrases. Yes, here we go. I'm going to get some good ones here.
Oh, no. What have I done?
Oh, this says, I love that. Oh, yeah. It says, here comes a handful of electric little openers your podcast can flick into, like the air, like batarangs. I turned them for modern ears, a splash of swagger and a wink of comic book flair. How about this?
All right.
Cape up, crew. The DC Multiverse just opened its door. Now, these suck. I got
That's
that.
terrible.
They fucking gave me 50. Suit up, listeners. The Watchtower's live. Yeah,
the Watchtower. That's pretty relevant to right now. How about
Plot
that?
twist primed. Capes fluttering. Let's unleash the lore. These all suck. Dial up your inner men are human, kids. It's story time in the multi-Jesus. These aren't.
It's podcast o'clock. Let's save the day.
Yeah, podcast o'clock. It's always podcast o'clock. It's the worst.
For you, it is.
Hey, everybody! It's podcast o'clock. Let's get drunk off our ass. Yeah.
There we go. Is that Simon? Is that Simon?
That's Simon. That's also Stork. That's also Luke Hollywood. It's all
Luke Hollywood.
A bunch of drunks to deal with. Yeah. Yo! It's time to multiverse up your ass. That's what I'd say.
What?
Here we go.
That did not come from them.
Yeah, that was me.
That was from the heart.
That was pure me. There we go. We have 2 books, me and you, to do to finish up the podcast. We only have 4 books. Crazy. But of course, if you want it more, as I said earlier, probably, you can go to our Patreon, because me and you talk about Supergirl, and me and Simon talk about DCKO Wonder Woman versus Lobo, and Simon ends up desperately try to make me like that issue because he explains what it really was referencing. Didn't make me happy at all. Didn't make me like it. Made me angry. Made me even more angry that it was referencing something from 40 years ago in a book that didn't need to. It really didn't. And so we're going, and as I'm saying this, I'm trying to find, I can never find these credits. I swear to God, lately, Supergirl credits that we did on the deal, those credits, holy moly, they were so small. These aren't that much bigger, but it is.
I don't even know where they were on that.
I found this here. It's like page 5. Batman and Robin, 28. The Quiet Man, Part 4. Philip Kennedy Johnson writing. Stefano Raffaele on art. Is he the normal artist on this? Couldn't remember.
Think so.
Looked a little different at points. When you
Robin
saw
looks
those,
a little different.
When you saw those irregulars, holy shit, they looked irregular.
Yeah, they look different. Yeah. No, he's definitely different.
You know what I mean? That girl looks like she's like Dale from fucking, King of the Hill. Marcelo Maiolo. It is, but it's just not a good look for it. Marcelo Maiolo colors, Steve Wands on letters. You got Ben Mears. Oh, actually, James Reed, assistant editor. Ben Mears, editor. Rob Levin, group editor. I don't know who the artist was before. Yeah, I didn't. It looks the same, like the color scheme and stuff like that, but it did look different. Like maybe they had to change some things because it's canceled, and they had to. I don't know. You check.
Oh, it was Osseo before.
Okay, so it was different. So that makes sense. But usually that's also the tail of the tape at points when somebody's on. I don't know why, but it's like, yeah, you don't have to be on this book anymore. We're going to shift you off to something else. This book's done because it's not even the idea of this. We don't know how the yin and the yang of it, but you end up Philip Kennedy Johnson signed exclusive with Marvel, so that the book is going to end anyway. But it was probably ending anyway. So you know what I mean. I had heard before. And again, when you hear the news, and I get people yelling at me sometimes where I'll say, oh, it happened with Jeremy Adams, where Jeremy Adams ended up at one point. He said, hey, I'm going to be off of Flash. But it's people expect that the guy finds out the day before it's announced. Like he had found out like 5 months before and told me and just said, don't tell anybody. I said, I won't. But he said, I'm off the Flash. I don't have any books. And for that, like 5 months, I kept asking, hey, do you have anything else? And no, I think I'm done at DC. And then lo and behold, something fell out with Mariko Tamaki. Not that Jeremy Adams did it. The people yelled, but then he got Green Lantern. And then from there, it got bigger and better for him. And now he's exclusive at DC.
We're all very happy for him. Although I was disappointed to learn in the last episode that you said that he doesn't really talk to you anymore.
No, he doesn't talk to me much anymore. But I haven't really reached out to him either. But he used to kind of, check in. But I haven't been so kind in some of the books.
We've been a little bit more critical of him lately. And also, though, he's also a busy dude. He went from having no books thinking he's done at DC to now he's got all the books.
I also do a side little thing that if he listens to that, the guy's never going to talk to me again because I yell and scream on that one a little more. I just, because I get told, I hate when people give me absolutes like this guy's the best ever.
or this issue was the greatest thing I've ever read.
You can't stand that.
I can't take it because it's never really true. If you say that about everything, it's the idea. If everything's super, well, then nothing's super, and it drives me nuts. So I tend to go the opposite and scream and yell and lose my mind and say things I don't really want to say. But I did say stuff like that on the other, not on our show. But I like him. I think he's a great guy. I don't know why I'm defending all this now, but it's also actually, it ties in too, because I say the same things about Philip Kenny Johnson. Philip Kenny Johnson, I think, is a really, really good guy. I think he understands the assignments that he really seems to like Superman. He seems to really love Superman. That's the biggest shame that him signing exclusive at Marvel is he's not going to be able to write Superman anymore, even if it's not my favorite stuff, but he does it well and people do connect with it. And in this book, this is still probably, it's weird. Remember at points we'd say every time we talk about books or whatever, we'd say, oh, this is my favorite DC book. I haven't said that much lately because it's because of this event. It's kind of throwing a wrench into things. And also some of the books that I really, really like the book we're going to continue with after this one, I'm not really liking that much anymore. But I still like Batman and Robin. I like this. I like this book since he's been on it. I think this is a really, really good run. It almost feels too like if this was a Detective Comics run instead of a Batman and Robin run. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if all the stories that he did in Batman and Robin were in Detective Comics,
and this, you could easily have just made this Detective Comics.
Sure, but
it's I think just if more. It was, Robin,
I think we'd be, I think we'd be saying that this is the best Detective Comics run in a long time.
Well, at least I'd remember it, unlike that Tom Taylor. And in the meantime, though, it's a weird play that I think that I'll say this all the time. Oh, we'll forget about it a week later. Oh, we'll do this. Oh, even when people are yelling and screaming about things, I think that this one's going to surprise people years from now. That they're going to end up just like, no, I think they're going to end up reading it and saying, why didn't anybody tell me this was so good?
Oh,
I think that this has gone so under the radar.
I agree with that.
And I think that it's also like, what would you have grabbed in this? Like even this story or everything in the Philip Kenny Johnson run that you think is the wow thing that would get somebody, like if you were a shop owner and they're like, oh, what books? And you, oh my God, you got to read this because of this. I think that this isn't that type of book. It's very it's subtle in how good it is. It's like a little, it's under the radar. And I think that what you would say is, hey, I mean, the best thing I think nowadays you could say about it actually is, hey, you should read this Philip Kenny Johnson, Batman and Robin. It's really solid the whole way through. And that doesn't seem like that big a compliment, but nowadays it kind of is. And I think that you're going to get people surprised down the line, a year from now, 2 years, that they're going to pick up the trade and there'll be people you'll see on social media saying, oh man, I just found out about this, because not many people even know because of the numbering and people ditching DC. Now there's an event and it just is always there being good, but never like wowing to the point of must read, I think, each issue. But overall, I think it is a really, really good book. But
no, I think you make a good point. And I think that's absolutely true. I think it's something where if somebody went to a comic shop owner or just to you or me and we're like, hey, what's a good solid Batman book that's not the usual, that's not the Dark Knight or the Killing Joke or the same old stuff that everybody's read. If I just was going to go pick a trade off of a shelf, like what would be a good one to grab? I would absolutely recommend the Philip Kennedy Johnson Batman and Robin. And I think because even really like the last story, which was with the demon guy,
Memento. I'm glad you brought it up because it's funny that it's Memento and I couldn't remember what it was until you said that. But Memento. Yeah. It was good, but it dragged a little.
It went on too long. But the thing is if you're telling somebody to go back and get it, they wouldn't have that problem.
No,
because they wouldn't be reading it over the.
You
wouldn't read it over the course of a year. You'd be done with it in 2 hours or whatever, and be like, oh yeah, that was cool. So I think you're absolutely right.
I think it will surprise people in the end. So. There's not a lot of runs. I think that that first trade of Green Arrow will probably be the same. I think, and that's the thing. To surprise people, there will be people will either forget about it or they never knew about it. And I think that Green Arrow by, what's his name? I was going to say Chris Condon. I was going to say Chris Montos because I was combining them. But I think that that'll be another one that people will be like, oh, man, why didn't this continue? And then they'll read the second trade and say, oh, I just answered my own question because that second part of that Green Arrow story was nonsense. But here we are. We're going to get into this Batman and Robin after all of our nonsense. Yeah, you end up where you go into this, and it is the Quiet Man. And I haven't really been hitting, the Quiet Man hasn't hit with me as much as you and a bunch of other people I talk to, because I just think, I guess you can't really develop him that much because he's just what he is. He's like, he's the Kirk, or what's it called? Like the man with no name. The idea of him like strolling into town and taking care of things, except that at this point in time, you can't really do that. It's not the Old West that you come in with your 6 guns and ready to go.
But 6-shooter.
He plays off like that. In the meantime, in this, we have 2 more issues, I guess, after this. And I don't even know if the Quiet Man's going to be the thing that we continue with, because we're then going to, and I actually did like the idea that he was going after the ventriloquist who had been kind of fixed or redeemed or reformed. Yeah. I actually really liked that idea, and I thought there was going to be the play at the end where somehow, I mean, it wasn't set up to be, but the ventriloquist maybe it's with the Scarface doll, that he thinks of that doll as his son, and that some weird way, this Quiet Man's going to be like, oh, I get we're the same kind of thing, and also with Batman being the same deal with his parents dying, what revenge and what do you do and how far do you take it? In this issue, it's just kind of a little odd. I think it gets a little bit like astray. I think it starts adding some other things in that you don't. And I think it gets a little bit away from what I thought was the cool part of this issue, where you do have the gangs and that stuff. But what were you going to say?
You're spoiled. So the twist at the end is that the Quiet Man appears to be stopped. Yeah. Even though we have 2 issues to go, although I think we'll see him again. I don't think he's going to be in jail for the rest of the book. I'm sure he's going to be part of the
I think he's dead.
Issue 6 and somehow. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to shift. And this issue is very twisty. We're going to get a lot of twists and turns and things that you don't see coming. And it looks like moving forward, Wesker is going to be, the ventriloquist is going to be our antagonist, which is, I get what you're saying. But I still, overall, I still like this issue. I've liked the Quiet Man from the beginning. I don't mind. I kind of like the take on this guy kind of strolls in town. We do get a little bit more about him, about how he's from the Blue Ridge Mountains. Shout out to North Carolina people here. Although I don't know if he's a good representative. Although he could be from also Tennessee, I guess. And
yeah, he's the only Tennessee.
You like his look, do you?
No, you. Not in this issue, because I think the art's a little down. But
the art is a little bit.
Yeah, it seems weird.
It's a very similar scratchy, dark style with the highlights in the yellow that we've been getting since the Memento story. There was a lot of like orange and yellow highlights. So he's clearly aping that style, but the faces are off.
Yeah,
that's kind of
trying to do his best to ape the style, though. So I do appreciate that. It's just you're not going to have the exact style, and again, it's you wonder why, because it's ending. Just kind of end it, but that's kind of what they do. But I'm looking now. Was the first story? Did it start with Memento? Was that when he first jumped on?
Philip Kennedy Johnson has done. It was Memento, and now this. That was it. It's just that Memento was 12 issues.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm going to say right now. What I think happened here, and we can laugh about what I'm going to say, but the idea, Philip Kennedy Johnson is not a 6-issue guy. Like I think that things ended up where when he found out or decided, hey, I'm going to go off and sign with Marvel. And again, I don't think it was fully like, oh, we're going to end this book. I think that he kind of made it so when he signed exclusive. So they're like, okay, well, then we're going to have to finish this. And I kind of feel like this issue felt like it already, like this is the point where it starts rushing to an end. I think this would have been another 12-issue thing. I'm telling you, he does not write things very quick. And that Memento story being 12 issues, and then this 6 is fine. But I feel like at this point, things kind of went and took a real 180 at points to get to an end So we'll see. We'll see. And I hope the Quiet Man's still involved. But the thing is, if he is, I don't know how, because Batman kind of has him, and
I think he's going to break out.
He's going to break out of Batman. But I think that Batman continues with the idea, because mainly Robin, actually, Damian, going, okay, well, this guy had a righteous thing that he's doing. He's doing it the wrong way. I'll finish it in a good way, and I think that's how it's going to. I think it's going to be Robin ending it for and helping out the deal by just bringing in the ventriloquist, which is odd, especially because, again, it's butting heads with Batman, who said, no. Again, Batman's wrong again. Batman's saying he's redeemed. And I mean,
that's the biggest issue I have.
Yeah, and he legit got a woman killed because he left her alone with him, saying he's fine, and he was not fine. And that's pretty bad. That's really bad.
That's really the only problem with this. I mean, we're going to go through the book, but everything that we do in the book, I like. It's all good stuff. There's some real tension when they're trying to get to save Wesker and who we think is Blair at that time.
Yeah.
All that stuff is good, and the way the Quiet Man handled and the interrogation of Two-Face, like all the stuff that we're going to talk about here is all a lot of fun and done really, really well. I enjoy the book the whole way through. The twists are surprising and engaging, but the big problem is that at the end here, we basically find out that Wesker is not cured.
Yeah.
Wesker is very deranged still and dangerous, and it makes Batman look like a dumbass, because we set it up or Philip Kennedy Johnson set it up where Batman released Wesker. He wasn't released he pulled Wesker out because he was supposedly better. So he's the one who got him out. He's the one who kept it secret. He's the one who put Blair on him, which got her killed. This is 100% Batman's fault.
Yeah.
And it could have, the weird thing is, it could have been avoided if it was something where like Wesker was just released naturally, normally, as part of the Arkham system. He was out on parole. He was out on release, supervised release. And, Batman was just keeping an eye on him, and kind of everybody knew, but nobody knew where he was because they were trying to keep it, on low profile, trying to keep it on the DL, but Batman knew where he was and was keeping an eye on him. But they treated it like it was this big shock that, wait, nobody even knew Wesker was out. The only person who knew was Batman, because he pulled
he's
him
the
out.
one who did it.
Well, then this makes it all Batman's fault then that this Blair girl is dead.
Yeah.
And
that's blood on his hands. Yeah.
It's blood on his hands, and it's a weird choice to make from a storytelling perspective, and I don't know why we're doing it.
I mean, even if you ended up where you could have even had, I guess it's weird. I think that Philip Kennedy Johnson cares more about the honor and the deal of the Quiet Man, because you could have the Quiet Man just going guns a-blazing, or you could have had, Two-Face's gang get pissed off and go and find them and say, you did this and accidentally kill her, just spray bullets. But yet it's Wesker who he says is fine. And it's bad. I mean, the twist is pretty crazy. I said, I told you, I said, the minute that we see the G's again.
The G's. As soon as I saw the G's, I was like, Jim, there you go.
I said, I knew we'll see the G's and we'll know he's crazy again. And that's what you did. Yeah. I didn't expect to have killed the woman weeks ago. And when that happened, I was like, oh my God, Batman, what did you do? But exactly. So I think that things are a little rushed here, though, to get the things, because you go and have the irregulars and they do the detective work. It's fine. But you have them, hey, and it doesn't do anything really for the story except let Damian know what the Quiet Man's about, which feels a little bit been there, done that, because we know.
Well, because we know.
Yeah.
So it's just Batman and Robin getting caught up on it, which it isn't really a whole lot of detective work, which is why I don't mind it. But this is kind of the problem you're always going to run into when you're writing Batman is he can't know everything all the time, or there's not going to be much of a story. And that's kind of like, I think it was an issue that you had last week with Batman, where he didn't know about the Minotaur. It didn't bother me.
It just is so many things over. It's really happened since Court of the Owls. It's been constant.
Yeah, but this I had more of an issue with, because this is something that he did, and you didn't need to structure the story that way. If it was just like I said earlier, he was on supervised release, then it's not Batman's fault anymore. And we wouldn't be in this weird predicament of making Batman have blood on his hands for this girl's death.
Yeah, and Batman
look incompetent.
And you could make
and it wouldn't change the story at all.
No, and you would have had Batman checking in, but he's been busy now with this Quiet Man, busy. So he can't check in, but he's aware of it. At least he knew. Yeah. And what can he do? If somebody's released, they're released. If they have said that, and you could even have him say, "I don't know, I don't trust him. He always goes back, whatever." But no, he, like at that one point, he's yelling at Damian last issue or the issue before, where he's yelling, "They can't find him. He's good now. He doesn't deserve that." He's a straight up murderer and has been. And that's bad. And also shows that Batman hasn't checked in quite some time. And so that's the weird play is two things. Like, first off, he knows that they're after Wesker, but never really goes to do anything about it. But also the idea that he seems to know enough about the Quiet Man, but doesn't really find out much more about that either. He's trying to, about the idea of the trial and all that. I'm telling you, a lot of that kind of gets swirled around in my head. Remember, there's the robbery gone wrong and the fighting, and why was this military guy there? And he was the only one, so he took the brunt of it, but we don't know why he didn't speak up. There's a lot of things going on. We still don't, by the end, find out anything about a kid or anything involved with it. Just the idea
the robbery is a little confusing because of it's like a 4-way fight, and kind of trying to keep track of who was where and what, doing what with who and why. Like it's a little bit confusing especially on the first read. And then also it still doesn't really explain how his son died.
That's what I'm saying. We're waiting for that, right?
Yeah. The setup we get that is from, so the Quiet Man's name is Mercer, is his last name. And Mercer he had a connection who was in Falcone's crime organization. And Mercer had obviously boosted these silver coins that he had stolen, and he wanted to sell them. So he went to his buddy who was in Falcone's crime organization, and then somehow everybody found out about it. So Two-Face and Penguin were going to team up to go for it and split the loot. They were going to rob Falcone of the silver, but Scarface also found out about it. So the ventriloquist showed up with Scarface, and he got there first and gunned everybody, whatever. And then, but Falcone's guy got away with the silver and disappeared, and Mercer was shot, and presumably his son died. But it's like he took his son to an exchange with a gang.
I don't know.
Of his
I'm
silver?
starting to
Like,
think there's going to be some weird play. Like, I don't know. Could it be that it's a son of the mind, like ventriloquist? Like, there's got to be something that ties into something. But I don't know.
We'll see.
Or it's the Quiet. I don't know. I was going to say, but he's too old. Like, the Quiet Man's actually the son, and he's going for revenge of his dad, but he's dead. It just doesn't make sense. And we still don't see it. And we have 2 more issues, so we're going to have to see. But it's starting to feel to me like there's going to be that twist, right?
Is it going to be that, like, it was him and his wife were a team, and she was pregnant? And the letters to the son that was never born?
Or when this happened, his son, like, disowned him? I don't know. There's got to be a twist now. Without seeing anything and it even looking like there would be anything like, oh man, the son was there, or oh, they came and got him at his house. Not seeing anything this far in, I think there's going to be a twist that it's like something that
nobody ever said. Like, they said there were 5 dead gangsters.
How about that if he was doing this?
Mercer was injured. They didn't say anything about a dead kid.
How about this, that his son had a disease and he needed that money. He needed to fence that stuff to get the money to pay for that. And then his kid died of cancer or something like that because they couldn't get him any treatment. It might be that.
That's probably what it is.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then he's going with that. I couldn't save it. Yeah. Because
and
I think we would have seen the
to
deal.
Sell it so that he could get money for the treatments, and then
because then they say the silver just disappeared. They don't know where it went. Somebody got it, so it was gone. All his money that he got was gone. And I think you're supposed to play the idea that this is kind of a righteous man who had to do, almost like, would you steal bread to feed your starving family? That he ended up doing this stuff and was just going to do this one job. And it all went to hell because of Scarface going in. And he might have even been involved in some other things. But I think that that's what we're going to find out. At one point, we're going to see this kid with an IV, and we'll feel sad. But in the meantime, Batman's a piece of shit because you're doing all this stuff going through. And again, this Quiet Man just wants to do this one job and he just wants to be done with. But in the meantime, you also have setups and things like that because they end up giving him these addresses of Wesker. And Robin follows the Irregulars. I thought the Irregular stuff, just the dialogue seemed a little clunky at one point. He's like, I don't mind it. But he's like, oh, the Irregulars are never far away, are they? It's our town. We thought you could use some help. Batman and Robin. Actually, I think it's Robin's deal. Damian's lines are over here, but Batman and Robin don't need help. We stuck around last night, saw your fight with the Quiet Man, and we followed him home. Want to see where he goes at night? Of course he's going to want to go. So he goes. In the meantime, too, Batman seems to almost kill Two-Face. But Batman... I
like this.
The thing about this is like, none of this really matters that much, but it's part of the story. It's kind of fun.
It feels very classic.
Yeah.
Like Batman
he throws him off and gets him by
throws him off a building. Throws him off a building, catches him with a grappling gun.
The grappling deal is kind of funny. And he says, hey, and he's like, hey, you tried to kill
I like the way he grabs the goons off, without Two-Face noticing. Like it feels very like the Arkham video games.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Like you always wonder, like, there's got to be some noise. Like you would yell something, and then the guns are flying or whatever. But I'd be pressing that gun. I'd shoot Batman right in his face. But yeah, he ends up throwing Two-Face off the building, but grabs him.
Yes.
And then Two-Face, is still yelling and screaming. Batman beats the crap out of him and lets him fall down. But in the meantime, he does tell him, the story about the driver. And that's what you said. And again, it gets a little bit away from things. The idea of the Quiet Man. Oh, the Quiet Man. He was friends with this guy who ended up getting him on this deal. But then they ended up with the Silver. And it gets a little bit convoluted for how easy it could have been with the story. But you get the idea. And that's where I get they're just playing the idea that he had that money and wanted defense. And that's why he didn't. Right. He wasn't able to save his kid.
The only reason I even got it is because I've read the issue twice and thought about it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying though. When you first read it, you just kind of just kind of like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't even know.
And they keep calling him Mercer throughout, and it's like I haven't internalized that the Quiet Man's name is something Mercer. I forget. So it's like and then they're like, oh, and this one other gangster. What was his name? I forget. He's the one who made off with the Silver, and they say his name multiple times. I'm like, who the hell is that guy? Like, it's just the first time you read it, it's a little bit.
I think that this
Brazi, that's his name.
Yeah,
what a great
Brazi. Hey, Brazi. I think that if it would have continued on and wouldn't have been canceled like this, I think that would have been developed more. We would have actually maybe even had an issue with that lore stuff.
Flashback issue that shows it happening.
Yeah. I'm looking now to see what this some of the solicits might give me a deal, but they're all about Scarface. They're all everything. Scarface has returned. This is the finale, I think. As the Scarface has returned, the Quiet Man is still on the loose. The Two-Face and Penguin encircle it all. Batman and Robin have found themselves caught in the middle, desperate for answers and on the brink of defeat. The Dark Knight Detective and the Boy Wonder have one more trick up their sleeve, but will it be enough? Find out in the third season. But the issue before next issue.
That's actually a good. It's actually a good blurb there.
Next issue is all about Scarface. And it looks like Scarface might even have ventriloquist, has Batman, Robin, and the Quiet Man all tied up and whatnot. But yeah, we'll see how it is. But so
I mean, you don't get a lot of ventriloquists these days, so it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seemed weird. We got him in that Dark Horizons deal or whatever that fucking thing was, where Scarface was the building. Nonsense. People still tell me how much they like that. But yeah, you end up where
Dark Patterns.
Dark Patterns. What a Dark Horizons. But yeah, so Batman and Robin are desperately trying to get to where Scarface is, and you end up where it was all a setup. It was a setup, and they're blasting it with an RPG.
They had so actually at the beginning of the book we didn't mention basically the Penguin sets up his mansion empty with a video. And says, "Hey, this is where you can find the
ventriloquist."
Yeah, it is like that.
I've never even seen those movies, and I know. But yeah, so you end up where it's crazy. And I thought, like, the idea of this, they do then find. I kind of thought the way they were going to do it is if you were going to kill Blair, maybe this would have covered that that deal, but it doesn't. This forces them to go in. It's like Batman needs something to blow up to go in, and they find Blair, but she's been dead a while. And it's funny too, in that you see it,
like, what?
And right away, you're like, okay, Scarface is insane still. He's looking at her as kind of the Scarface. He's, going and doing that thing. And in the meantime, though, they do, it like draws out a little bit more, and it gets even freakier when you do it. Because then I didn't know who this guy was. I thought this guy on the porch was supposed to be somebody. But yeah, Batman should now retire. It's like, it's Blair. There's a body. It's Blair. She didn't die in the blast. She's been dead. Seriously, Batman, you can play it different. That'd be great. He's like, oh, Robin, look, she died in the blast.
She died in the blast.
And Robin's no, she didn't. She's all mummied up. Like, no, listen to me right now, my boy. She died in the blast, and that's what we're saying. We're getting our stories right here from when I'm going to have to talk about this. But and then they find the Quiet Man, like, oh my God, that's impossible. Like, he basically, Robin's saying, that's impossible. You did this bullshit. But he says, you spoke to her less than an hour ago. If Blair's dead, if she's been dead all this time, who are you talking to? Now, also, I just imagine if this would have been hilarious if it was in live action, like cartoon or live action deal of, hey, Batman, it's me, Blair. How you doing there? How you doing, Catman? What's up there? Like, that should have been, there's the thing that should have been. You should have had, we're running out of time, but if you would have had Batman, because you would have hoped that he would be checking in. He checks in the one time and suddenly he's like, hey, I have a cold, Catman. He's like, okay, yeah. Okay, Wolfie. Like, it's like Terminator 2. Oh, Wolfie's fine. Okay, bye. Robin, we got to get there. Scarface has done something to Blair and go and save her ass because he now revealed it because of that. But instead, she's dead. It's all in his hands. And then you see, it is kind of funny when you picture it where they're running away. And again, it was the idea, and I don't know that we've ever seen her alive because of the way the timing is. I guess we could look at that stupid time shit that he does, but she has been getting more and more of like a Thelma and Louise kind of thing of like, we'll escape together. And so that's just Scarface. And when they're doing this running around, and then all of a sudden she says, I got a gig surprise for you. And you're like, oh shit, it's not her. And then some guy.
Well, at first I was trying to, because like you still at this point don't know. You're like, was it a clay face maybe?
Yeah.
That it was impersonating? Did he create some sort of puppet robot thing that was being Blair?
Yeah, it's weird, right?
You don't really know at first until the guy at the end says, he's on some random bystander. That's on the
just
phone.
This dude.
There's this dude, and he's like, somebody's like, hey, are you with, on the other line, like, hey, are you with somebody? And I hear somebody talking. He's like, nah, it's nobody, just some old guy talking to himself.
Yeah.
And you're like, and then you see he's running alone. You're like, oh,
shit.
There's
drinking one of them Four
crazy.
Locos. He's drunk. He's like, I don't know. I like the other person on the way. Of course, it's some lady, his girlfriend on the other line. Like, who are you with?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I'm on the porch, bitch. What are you talking about? It's some old guy running down. That didn't sound like an old guy. Like, next thing you know, there's big trouble. Runs away. He's very nimble for his deal. But he's kind of, there he is. He's insane, and Batman is really bad. Really, really bad. But the issue, that sets up some crazy things. I want to see how he gets out of this. I want to see Batman's explanation at the end. He'll just put a rose on her freaking grave. Say,
he'll talk about how he feels bad about it.
Yeah. And then Robin will say, what I learned in Supergirl is you can't save everybody, Batman.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what you'll do. You'll learn from Kara Danvers. So by the end of this, though, you end with a crazy twist. I just hope that it all comes together because, again, the things in this, that whole explanation of the silver and stuff was very convoluted, but it seemed like you really wanted to see that was the thing that happened that really screwed over the Quiet Man. You would have expected this would have been where I expected there was a meeting and the kid comes out of the bedroom. Daddy, what's going on? They just blow his head off or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. Or they want to, usually after these sort of heists and things, they want to clean up loose ends. And this guy was a guy they couldn't trust and they went to kill him, but accidentally killed his son. But I think it's more about the idea. I'm guessing that there was some sort of illness or something. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But what would you give this?
Yeah, overall, I actually really like this issue quite a bit, especially on a reread, when I was able to kind of understand what the history of what happened with the Quiet Man a little bit better. I mean, really, each individual scene is really strong. All the things we're doing are pretty engaging and pretty fun. The stuff with the Quiet Man in Penguin's mansion at the beginning was cool. They don't want to be within 1,000 yards of them. They're like, you can come see this empty house and we'll leave you a note. But I like the conversation, and we didn't really talk about it with Batman and Robin, where he's talking about like this offshoot of the Greek Orthodox Church that believes in vengeance, and that's where he pegs him from being from the mountains and all that stuff. The Two-Face confrontation I thought was super fun. The irregular stuff with Damian was a little bit down, and I thought it was weird too. They go through the sewers of Gotham and find yet another like whole complete city in the sewers again. I was like, how many cities in the sewers do they have in Gotham?
There's a lot. It's a shithole. They end up where also like, we like finding things that Batman doesn't know. And then Robin's surprised. You deal with Batman? Yeah, all the time. It's fine.
Yeah, like we show him places that he can't fit into. Sometimes because he's too jacked to get in there.
Yeah, too jacked.
Cool. So I thought that was cool. And and reading it through the second time, like I said, really clarified the story for me a little bit. And the part where Damian finds the note of it says Merry Christmas, and it says where Wesker is. Yeah. And he says how it's written like it's written with somebody's offhand. And I was like, oh, so Wesker was the one, because you speculated that Wesker was the one kind of seeping through. Scarface was seeping through trying to get things done. Right.
Yeah.
Trying to get himself out. So that was kind of interesting, but there is that big down note, which we spent a lot of time talking about, how Batman is directly responsible for Blair's death. So overall, I was going to put it at like an 8.5 or even a 9.
My goodness gracious.
I really liked it a lot, but higher than me. I'm going down to an 8 just because of the fact that we made Batman look like, oh, and I forgot to mention, like, there was a lot of tension, like, oh shit, is Batman going to get there in time to stop the Quiet Man from killing Wesker, and what's going to happen with Blair? And oh my God, there's an RPG. That's crazy. Is everybody dead? And oh shit, Wesker is actually on the run, and he's crazy. Like, I was like into it. So like that's why I was pretty high. I'm going down a little bit because of the fact that Batman got a girl killed. Right? So I'm going to go with an 8.
Yeah, I'm a 7. I'm a 7 out of 10. Yeah, and I'm wondering how it's going to tie up. I hope it ties up pretty good, because we've been liking the whole series.
Like
so we'll see.
That solicit was pretty exciting.
Yeah, we'll see. But we're going to go to the next book, which at one point was a surprise hit for us. We were really liking it
at the beginning.
Now, I mean, it's sad to say, but once it was announced that Jeremy Adams was no longer doing anything with it, it was just Morgan Hampton, it took a bit of a dive. And this issue I find to be a wreck. But this is Green Lantern Corps number 11, written by Morgan Hampton, art by Will Conrad, French Carlo Magno and Max Dunbar. French Carlo Magno. Colors by Lee Lowridge, Ian Herring, Francisco Segala, and Matt Herms. Jesus Christ. It's like, what is this, credits or the members of Earth, Wind, and Fire? There's so many people on this thing. Letters by Dave Sharp. It's Parliament Funkadelic. When they have a concert, it'd be like a crew. You'd also have assistant editor Julian Grant, Kathleen Wisniewski, editor, group editor Paul Kaminsky. And there is such thing as doing too much in an issue. And this is it. And the problem is that when you do too much, some of it better be interesting. And it's not. It's not.
Yeah, we're both doing too much, and I'm not particularly interested in any of it.
It's like doing too much to do nothing.
And it's kind of like when we talked about JSA, and we said we got like 5 or 6 different micro stories, and it wasn't enough. But when we got to the next piece, we saw how it could go somewhere exciting, how it could start to come together.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we got the second issue of the year one, we're like, okay, it is starting to come together. It did get more exciting. It did get more fun. The thing is, here we've got 5 or 6 different stories.
Holy moly.
And unlike JSA, where I was kind of interested and wanted more of them, I don't really care about any of these, and I don't really want that much more of any of them.
No. And I mean,
and that's kind of a problem.
One of the main stories is Fatality and this water alien.
Encore.
And who cares? Who cares, right? You try to make people care, but it doesn't work. First off, it makes this idea of the Green Lanterns look like pieces of crap, which is fine. But the idea of that with Fatality, you're waiting for this twist of, oh, she was duped, but I don't think she is, and I don't think he wants her to be duped. I think that he's real interested in writing Fatality, but that shouldn't be a main Green Lantern Corps story. And then when you get to the main stories, they're just nothing. It's oh my god!
The Fatality thing doesn't fit with who Fatality is, in my opinion, and like her motivations and her goals and what she would want.
Yeah.
Right? Like we kind of did this last issue. We played with Fatality a little bit. And her thing is that Xanshi was destroyed.
Destroyed, yeah.
And so she was upset about it. She wanted to kill John Stewart because of it. Now, at some point in either the New 52 or Rebirth, I forget where, she got over it.
Yeah, like, she was kind of
not over it, but she came to terms with it. You're never going to get over it,
but she realized what it was.
She came to terms with it. She forgave John. Things were fine. Then all of a sudden we reset her back to square one here in last issue. But even then, by the end of that, it was like we resolved it again. She was like, oh, wait, Xanshi's back in the dark sector? Yeah. And John Stewart's like, yeah, you can go there, but first you have to go.
What a jerk he was.
Yeah, he was kind of a dick about it. Like, but first you have to go on your apology tour.
Which she's not doing now, right?
No, now she's not doing. So the one thing that she wants is to get back to Xanshi or however you say it.
Yeah.
And the one thing that could help her do that is to get on side with John Stewart, and she doesn't want to seemingly do that now. All of a sudden, she's just like, actually, you know what? I would rather just destroy the Green Lantern Corps. She didn't even really blame the Green Lantern Corps for the destruction of Xanshi.
No,
she blamed specifically John Stewart.
Yep, it was John. And so you get this going on.
Fits.
No, and when we get this backstory, it just doesn't work. It just is kind of boring. It's the idea of, hey, I come from Encore, and the Green Lanterns ended up, and I don't know if this is supposed to be from the headlines. It kind of plays off a bit of, hey, there were these people, they were displaced. Yeah. We forced them in here. They ruined it for us, whatever. Again, if it's supposed to be that, I like it less. But the idea...
I don't think it is. I don't think it's supposed to be a big rumination on climate change or industrialization. It's just it's just a backstory for Anquar, who's a sentient water. I still don't really understand how that works.
I'm afraid that he's talking about, the whole thing with Gaza and that sort of thing. Putting people in a place where they weren't from and not even caring about who was there. But even with that, it ends up with this water deal. They're like, they didn't even look in the water to see this. I'm like, yeah, this is all forced. And the weird part is that you're dealing with Fatality, and it's such basic bitch. Is what it is. It's like, what's Fatality's one thing? Oh, she's mad that Xanshi got destroyed. So I'm going to set up another villain that had the same kind of thing happen so she get mad. And it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work with how things have been, and even her and her watching this thing kill people and just whatever. It's a shame.
Even at the beginning, she's like, why would I be with this guy? Like, why would I support him? Why would I be on his side? He's insane. No. What am I even doing here? And then at the end, she's just like, yeah, no, I would like to get revenge on the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, she's like, this will be fun. I don't know if the twist will be that, hey, I was just stupid. Even then, it wouldn't be that great. So with that, that's the main, it seems like that's the main story. And that shouldn't be the main story. And so then on the other part of the story is, everything seems forced. You have Ellie, who she seems like she's lonely, so she's going to Mogo because Mogo has a lot of constructs on him. Mogo's cool and he's nice. And oh my God, I see something going on with Mogo. Are you okay, Mogo? Oh no, effigy. Like, it's that lame. Like, there's no setup or progression. Things just happen. she's there just dancing around with these constructs. Hey, look at me, whatever. And boom, you end up with Effigy comes out. Effigy can leave a lasting impact. Ha. By the end, Effigy becomes like, there's never been a roller coaster ride of emotions with a guy quite like this. With Effigy all pissed off, and I'm going to take everything down and fuck all of you. I'm not going back to, I'm going to do this. Later, it's like crying. Oh my God, I didn't mean to be so mean. It's so bad. But Effigy's out and is going to attack Ellie, and Ellie needs help. She sends out a distress signal to John. And if John wouldn't have taken, like, I think it's supposed to be like, oh man, is John even going to listen to it because it's Ellie? Thank God he does, because if he didn't, that would have been complete bullshit, right?
Yeah,
and
100%.
This is where I realized too, when you read issues like this, it's swipe, right? But when you have to talk about them, boy, it's a pain in the ass. Because if you do go page to page, I'm telling you, it's like every 2 pages, you're going back to something. You're going here, there. It's all over. There's too much damn shit going on, but nothing is interesting. Ellie on Mogo, running into Effigy, that is just not that interesting. When John shows up, you can have some play because John has been avoiding her. That's fine, right?
Right, like that's where the core of the interesting idea comes in, is that with the John who created her gone, where does she fit in? Who is she supposed to be? Like, she should have some sort of internal conflict about that, and that's fine. Like, that's good. We should.
And her ring, the mom ring too, is not around her and helping her. So
same thing, but also her relationship with John. These are all things that are worth exploring. But we try to do it through the context of this battle with Effigy, and Effigy is he just pops out of the ground and he's zinging combat taunts
before
and throwing
when they
fire.
let everybody out, and he went to Mogo and he doesn't want to go back, but he could have just kind of stayed there. And what is Mogo thinking? It's just everything surface level. Even when you end up where John says, okay, I think I got to go. They end up seeing Arkillo and Razor fly by. We'll get to that in a minute. And John's like, what the hell? And he's like,
let's just talk about the Ellie story for now.
It's like, it looks like Kilowog and Guy have that handled. I'm going to go off. And then Kat Matui's like, show off. I'm like, what? Like, this dialogue's weird. So then...
Yeah, the dialogue is not good.
So then John says, hey, Ring, what's up with this Effigy? Now, he should know, but he gets the little deal of...
We get the backstory.
And that's for us. Okay, we get it. Yeah. And but then he says, I remember him. He got caught up in his powers. I hope he can be reasoned with. It's like, none of this dialogue is good. It's so bad. The dialogue is awful. At one point, what I wanted to say earlier is Ellie's doing all this stuff, and she's kind of ruminating on her deal of, oh my goodness gracious, why? What do I mean to anybody? I'm a construct. But then says what we said during the Supergirl in the spotlight, where you don't have to bring things up if you don't have an answer. She goes, I don't even know how that even is how I exist anymore with John dead. Like, neither do I. Like, don't bring it up. If you don't have an answer, just kind of don't remind me. Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. And so in that, Eric, I swear, I would love to hear what he thinks of this, because it drove him nuts. And it goes into the times where you had Kyle Rayner making different constructs that became, their own entities and became villains and things like that. And also what, obviously what Hal did. And it never turned out good. And now they're just hand waving stuff away of like, I don't even know how that works. But this Effigy is nothing.
Fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah, she's great. John comes down and
this Effigy is just a prop.
Yeah, he's just a prop. That's all he is.
Who shouts combat taunts while slinging fire around, so that we can force John and Ellie together. Which, okay, we need a reason to force them together. That's kind of the whole point, right? We want to do something with their relationship, but Ellie doesn't learn anything about herself, which is what kind of starts her scene, is her talking about she doesn't know what to do, whatever. And then, so it's just like Ellie and John are fighting this Effigy dude. Effigy kills Ellie. And then John's like, no, you fucked up. And then starts beating the crap out of him. And then the dude who was like 2 seconds ago, I'm going to burn this world. I'm going to burn the Green Lantern Corps is like, well, actually, I don't really want any of this.
He's
that
like,
guy who released me, I don't care.
I killed a kid construct? Woo, I didn't sign up for that.
Right. I didn't even know she was real, dude. Which, I mean, it's probably fair. He probably didn't. But
she was talking to him pretty sentient-like, but that's fine. Right? But then he also like throws in like, oh, I shouldn't have listened to them, or I shouldn't have done it. He's like,
I shouldn't have listened to the dude who set me free. I don't even care what he wants. I just want to go fly into that sun over there.
Yeah.
And he just does. It's like,
okay. He unlives himself, or whatever we're supposed to say anymore. I was like, what the hell?
He's a fire guy. I think he's fine.
No, I think is done.
I think he blew off.
That's the thing. He's just, and then John doesn't seem to think
more later about who let him out.
Yeah, like, well, that will get, but I think you have to get rid of him because you don't want to reveal that now. So he just kills himself.
He just fucks off, essentially. But anyway, then all of a sudden, Ellie's like, I'm alive again. Look at me. And he's like, oh, crap. You hoped yourself alive.
Oh, my God.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. And then like, oh, we're all good now. So this whole Ellie internal conflict doesn't resolve in a way that makes any sense. The relationship with John is just like, oh, I thought you were dead. Let's be cool now. Yeah. And it's just like, it's so
and that's
forced.
the thing. He
doesn't do anything interesting.
He says at the one point, and I'm like, I know how I am. This would not be good for me. But says, hey, she's not my sister, but we're family. I'm like, fuck you. Also, this is where, again, one of the concepts that drives me nuts, and one of the things that people have brought it up, of why a lot of times current comics aren't great, is the idea that Ellie comes back. She says, I hope myself back. And then John's ring says, some Blue Lanterns have exhibited the ability to heal great injuries, but I'm not sure it's been displayed on this scale, John. Your sister is special. And I'm like, come on now, come on. And that's where he says, she's not my sister, but I'm done pretending we're not family. I'm like, that's not that great. But yeah, so of course, Ellie's the greatest thing ever. And then when we go to Kelly, the Teen Lantern, she's the greatest. Like, everybody's the greatest ever without ever showing us that. I don't mind a character being the greatest ever. I love at points when characters step up, especially younger characters, when they show that, oh my God, but you have to show it. You can't just tell it all the time, because then people roll their eyes and don't believe it. It doesn't hit, and it feels forced. If Ellie did something here that was like, oh my God, it would mean more than just the ring saying, because she legitimately hoped herself back to life. Like, really? Really? That's what you did? You couldn't explain why you're even in existence anymore. Now you're hoping yourself back to life. Such bullshit. And the dialogue in this book sucks. But we also have the other deal where you have the training of the characters, where you do have.
Which this should be so much fun.
This should be the most fun that we could possibly have. This book should be, what would be the main things? I don't know that there's a B story. The A story in my mind should just be this. Should just be them training the characters. That's what people would want out of a Green Lantern. It doesn't have to be world ending. It doesn't have to be somebody from a water planet that ended up going, but you could have so much fun with this, and it's just nothing. This got me more mad than anything else, because you're there and they're training and they're doing this training, right, of the energy twins.
Yeah, you could do this fun stuff where it's like, we're taking, as part of their training, we're taking them out in pairs with a supervisor like Kilowog or Guy, and maybe they go on
Mogo.
Well, they go on rinky-dink missions around the galaxy, stuff that like we don't send the heavy hitters for, like the dumb bullshit. And then like it always goes wacky, and our rookies have to do something fun to save the day on what should have been a basic bitch mission.
Yeah,
right. Like that would have been really, really fun. But instead, what we're getting here. We do this weird, like right from the jump. They're like, okay, we're gonna do this energy twins power. Like, I don't think I've ever seen Green Lantern.
I'm sure it's something, but I've never seen it.
And it's like,
and it's not that interesting.
You can be asleep and send a willpower version of yourself around to go do things, and you are aware of it. You know, like, boy, that's pretty powerful. Like, that would be a huge deal. And it just kind of plays off like, yeah, everybody could do this. No big deal. Oh, and nobody else can see it except for other Green Lanterns. Like, what? Like, why? Like, they can see every other construct of Green Lanterns.
And they're like, well, you use it for espionage and stuff. That's cool. Oh, yeah, that's cool. And then you get Aya's like, I cannot do it because I do not have a soul.
A soul.
And there's the whole thing. It's like, purpose is tied to this. There's all these, like, I hope myself back to life. Purpose is tied to the soul. Oh, my God. And then they go where you end up where it is legit Razor and Arkillo going by where they yell, and then you have Kelly go, I don't think it's working, as if something is wrong with Aya, but you don't really get that. But then you see this fight, and it's the lamest shit. Again, Razor and Arkillo are just, they're props. It's the idea, you stole from me, you stole from me. It's to show that the cores aren't going to get along on Oa.
Which, again, is a potentially interesting idea of the cores all being on Oa and the conflict that would arise from that. But it's just, we're not doing anything with it. It's just a prop.
Yeah, and I've seen this story in like recent Yosagi Yojimbo that me and Gray did, and there was another story where you had the same crazy thing of, you stole from me, I saw you were flying over, and you did it's nothing. But what it ends up being is you need Razor to get into some dire straits, so that Aya can then use her, her soul
energy
twin, or energy twin. But then again, keep going. I mean, is this book the biggest of, oh my God, I've never seen somebody as great as this, because they do it with this too. I forgot even that to deal with it. Like, all of a sudden she does it. And the funny thing is, she ends up making this. They're all trying to, every guy, Kilowog, they're trying to stop all this. And it's getting worse and worse. And then all of a sudden, Aya makes this soul, the energy.
Well, yeah, so they separate Arkillo and Razor, and Arkillo knocks Razor out with an energy
He does,
blast.
like, at the end of, like, Lethal Weapon, he tries to shoot, Razor at the end. After he's been captured, he shoots him. And he does shoot him, actually. And
for some reason, the shooting only knocks him out, but whatever. Yeah. So he's knocked out, and he's like, and that causes Aya to finally manifest her energy twin power, which I guess is kind of speaking to she finds her soul. Her soul is her love for Razor, I suppose. Right? Then her energy twin. So everybody else is like, oh, energy twins can be used for reconnaissance, whatever. But Aya's energy twin flies into Razor's chest, which causes him to wake up, I guess.
I don't.
And then they have like an of the mind smoochy time.
They smooch,
and then he's fine.
And then when they say, I didn't know that energy twins could do that, I thought they meant kiss.
Do what?
Yeah,
she just do what?
She just flew into him and like defibrillated his heart. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think he was dead.
They didn't say he was dying or dead. They just said that he was not
dead.
They literally said no. He said he's fine.
He's just fine. He's out cold. So what it did was snap out of it.
Wake him up.
Woke him up.
She was she was smelling salts.
Yeah,
that's what she was.
And in that, it's my love. And he's like, Aya, you look different. I think it's my soul. I was not sure I had one until I heard your scream, and in an instant, it leaped out of my body to find you. My purpose. No. That's your energy twin. That they explain what that was. Nonsense. Get out of town with this. I think it's your energy twin. And then they make out in the mind, and then she pops out, and he's awake, and they go, Aya, that was amazing. Our energy twins can do that now. I think that's something only Aya can do. And then it's down the line. I wanted Kelly, who's in the last line, go, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about here? Because I lost something here. Did she make the construct hand? No, that wasn't her. Then what the hell did she do? Oh, she flew into his chest and he woke up. Oh, I never saw that before. Ay. This Morgan Hampton sucks. This is bad. Yeah, and then you get big construct of what's her name? Jessica Cruz. Who's like, that's it. She's so pissed.
That's it. You kids have been bad. We're gonna put a Green Lantern Corps member in every Corps state
seems right.
to keep an eye on them. I'm like, yeah, I don't think that's going to lower the temperature.
No,
very much.
I think Morgan Hampton is very artificially wanting all the cores. They're going to end up leaving anyway. That's what's going to happen. So that's what's going to happen, and we'll have this crazy deal.
I don't think the Sinestro Corps is going to take too kindly to being policed by a member of the Green Lantern Corps.
No.
Or the Reds, or anybody.
And again, what does that do? Because we have a bunch of Corps, right? That's going to make this book even more convoluted, because each issue we're probably going to have to check in on everybody. This book is a wreck. And at one point, they're like, man, who would steal stuff? Larfleeze. That's what it is. There it is. It's Larfleeze. I knew that would come in handy sometime.
There you go.
But yeah. They're like, oh, woe is me. It was him. Sorry, I almost killed you, Razor. Ay. And they're like, you don't like it? Prove you can fall in line. And Jessica just her being this huge construct head just looks so ominous. And she's screaming, we're going to have an all hands on deck meeting, you pricks. And everybody seems like a jerk in this book too. And then fatality at the end with it. They end up getting this nonsense villain from, what is it, Aquia? End up getting his ship fixed. And he's already said all these things that he eats people and he has to replenish his hydration. He's like, now I'm going to fuel up. What? I already fueled up the ship, sir. No, for me. And then I'm like, this sucks. Yeah, and then he kind of takes the shape of that person for a little. It's not good. This book is not good. It's a wreck. We said it at the beginning. It's all over the place, but does nothing interesting. Everything is just odd and weird. Everybody's the greatest. Everybody's the hurrah, hurrah. You're the best I've ever seen. But yet we don't really get a story. I mean, really, in this, what is the story? It's just a bunch of things going on where the only thing that has a story is this water guy that I'm not interested in. So we'll see. Yeah. What would you give it?
So honestly, none of the ideas in this book are bad, probably because they came from elsewhere. Like, we're just trying to do too much and none of it is interesting. We've got balancing the core on Oa, training the rookies, the fatality and Enquar stuff, Ellie's internal conflict and John's relationship, the fight with Effigy. Like, all of that stuff is in this book. And we kind of try to tie some of them together, like the cores, the different cores on Oa and training the rookies is tied in together. But it's just like has a weird and awkward resolution that doesn't really make any sense, which we talked about. The fatality and Enquar stuff, it doesn't make any sense for fatality. The Ellie internal conflict just resolves too quick and easy. Her relationship with John is just forced to a sudden and quick resolution. And so, really, this book needs focus, and the dialogue is off. It's wooden, it's stiff, it's forced. Overall, when I read the book the first time, I was like, whatever, But then kind of the more I thought about it, the more we talked about it, the less and less I liked it. And on the second read, I liked it less. Where I was like, none of these stories, I would get back to the other story. And I didn't once think, I'm glad we got back to the story, or, oh, I wish we wouldn't have left that other story. We went from a story I didn't care about to a story I didn't care about, back to another story I didn't care about. And I was sitting here, and by the time I finished reading it the second time, I was like, this sucks. I don't really care about any of this. So, for me, I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 10. There you go.
It's been a while.
We haven't had one in a while.
Yeah, that's what this is to me. And I think this just goes downhill from here. I
feel left out. I wish I would have done it.
I remember when Morgan Hampton did that Cyborg book, and me and Eric just argued every issue. And I kept saying, it's not going to resolve itself. Yeah, I can tell you right now. And he's like, no, it'll be this. And he had so many ideas of what it was going to, and it was none of them, and just fell flat. This guy is not a real good storyteller. I think it's all over the place. And even that, he got convolutedly, astray. And this should have more focus. And you would expect, just imagine if in March when they're going to do redos and they're going to have new number ones or whatever, this book feels like it just started, right? I know that we're almost a year in, but it feels like nothing has happened to make it its own book yet. And I kind of am worried that this whole thing with, and I want to call that villain Aquafina, by the way, and I have to keep stopping myself from doing it. But I wonder if that's the main story that's going to end and the book will end. It'll be one of the weirdest books if this would end in March. The idea where it never felt like it got tied into the Starbreaker stuff and whatnot, but it just never felt. It hasn't started yet. Footing. Yeah, it's not really its own thing. It just feels like it's not going yet.
Even when we were having a lot of fun with it for the first, I don't know,
6
issues, 5 or 6 maybe. Yeah. It still felt like it was trying to figure out what it was supposed to be, because it was like, we were in that weird phase of the beginning of Jeremy Lantern's Green Lantern run, and you had like, it was kind of like we were doing sort of Starbreaker setup stuff, but it wasn't really doing that. It was kind of like side stories while that was going on. But it was a lot of fun, but it wasn't really doing much. Didn't feel like it had a purpose. And then it was just a Starbreaker Supremacy tie-in.
Yeah.
And then now it's this, and this is a mess.
And the weird thing
is,
it
still doesn't feel like it has its identity.
The Green Lantern Corps, when people were excited about having 2 Green Lantern books again, Green Lantern, Hal. Right?
I was.
Green Lantern's usually Hal. When you get the Green Lantern Corps, that's when you can have Kyle, Guy,
and
Guy, John, all these, and yet even that Guy is in this barely. He's kind of just a joke. There's no Kyle. Even that Jessica is the head of the deal. She's just a construct head. She's doing bureaucratic stuff. And instead we get, and I don't mind having the new recruits. That's what I'm saying. The new recruits are fun because then you get Kilowog, but you don't really get a good portion of that. It's not really well done.
And you don't spend enough time with any of them to really do anything.
Guy and Kilowog should be half the book of them training the recruits. And the other thing should be, Kyle, if you still want to have John, John Kent, or Connor and Odyssey, you could have that and all those things, but they end up doing things with like nonsense, and then Effigy pumps. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Like, imagine if the setup was, because we're training these new recruits, and each issue, half of the story, the A story or the B story, whichever one, doesn't matter. Half the story is one set of the new, because there's 4 of them, right? So you can pair them off very easy. So
Ellie should
Narf
be with them as well, by the way. That would be where Ellie should be with them. She's never trained. Yeah. She's a construct, for crying out loud. Right. Like, just have her and then deal with that in that way. But
like I said at the beginning, Kellogg takes Narf, Kilowog, not Kellogg.
Kellogg. They're great.
They're great. That's right. Frosted Flake.
I hate Frosted Flakes, by the way. I can't stand them. One of the worst cereals ever. I can't stand it. They get soggy too quick, and they have a weird aftertaste.
And they're just cloyingly sweet. They don't have anything else. Anyway, but yeah, you have Narf and the not Starfire, whose name I can't remember because we don't get anything of her. Like, they pair off and they go with Guy on a silly adventure for an issue. And then we have our other story, which is John and Kyle dealing with serious stuff, right? Like, you could, that would be this book's identity. That would be super fun. We'd get to know the new characters. We could do a little bit more. Like, that would be cool.
Seriously, you want to know the funnest part of this issue? Go to the cover.
Yeah, that's it.
The new
cover's
class,
the most fun part.
And it has them. Just deal with them. And if people have again, people probably still have a problem with it, but deal with them and them alone. And you could have the shenanigans. You can have the fun of them learning, which then also gives you the lighter side of Guy at points, also shows Kilowog, also, all that stuff going on. It'd be great. It would be really good. And instead, we're just dealing with bullshit.
Well, yeah, and everything we love about Narf came from the beginning of the book, the first 5 issues. And he was only in 2 of them, I think. It's from those 2 issues where he and Guy We're on that crazy adventure to not nowhere, right?
Yeah.
It was basically nowhere.
Yeah, it was nowhere. But that was fun.
That was fun. It was fun, and that's where we got everything we know about Narf was from that. We've done nothing with them since.
And just think of that. That Narf could be a breakout character, right? Really cool. Everybody would love him, and you just ditched him to just be there. To go,
now he's just in the background cheering on Aya.
Yeah. And Aya, from the animated deal is fine. Not as interesting as Narf, and I want to know more about not Starfire. Well,
she could be interesting. Aya could be interesting if we were doing anything with her, but we're not.
No, it's
she's just part of this class of 4 people, and everybody just kind of. And all we've gotten from her is that she loves Razor.
And that's I was just going to say that's the basic bitch nature. You get fatality. That when Morgan Hampton's like fatality, she's mad about her planet blown up. That Jon Stewart did. You get Aya, and it's she loves Razor. That's it. That's all you get. That's it. Anybody who knows the characters know these things, but it just doesn't play out very well. So but that's it. I'm going to hit it again.
Yeah, hit it again because I want to be in on it.
That might be the thing I'm proudest about right there.
You should be very proud of that.
It does really sound like Sammy, doesn't it? That was pretty cool.
It does.
That was back in the day.
When you had to sing it.
I had to belt that out back in the daytime when you actually had to belt that out. That's trouble, and then put a filter over it, but I still had to hit the notes. It took me a bit, I'll tell you. And legit, I could do that. That would have been it. After that, I was done. Right now,
your voice was done.
I'd even give you a little sample, but I'm so I can't do it. I'm not doing it.
You're sick right now. It's not the time.
I could just do it like that. I'll just do it falsetto. But that is that. So we're done. We're done the podcast. It's going to be a very short one. Last week was a little longer than I expected, and I didn't even have to do the ending, which would have added some more. Did that?
Because you and Simon did it impromptu.
Yeah,
peace out.
He just decided to figure out what books he was doing next week, and I'm like, that's it. I don't have to do that. Then me and Gray ended up doing the intro, which was about 30 minutes long because we did it at 2 a.m. I had gotten done the Sus Records dance party, and Gray was, because he's in Japan, he's like, hey, you want to do the intro? I'm like, yeah, I guess we could do it before I go to bed.
I'm noticing a pattern.
What's that?
All the people who are up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning recording this podcast are the ones
they're all sick. But for Gray, that was afternoon.
Don't get enough sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. For him,
because he's in Japan. But me and Simon, I think there's trouble. I bet you, as we talk, I bet you if I ask now in the Slack, I bet you a bunch of people are sick. Supposedly, everybody this week everybody's gotten sick except you. I think, but
really,
it's
been going around. It has been going around.
And speaking of North Carolina and stuff like that, Zach got a hold of me the other day and said, "Hey, guess what I got?" And I wrote back VD, and he didn't.
Make a joke.
He didn't respond. He didn't respond for a while. No, he got the what's it called? The banana with those baseball guys that I love. Those
the Savannah Bananas.
The Savannah Banana. He got tickets. Yeah, he was all excited, which is
nice.
Cool. Yeah,
good for him. I want to see this.
I told him about them, and I'm like, they're the best. They're the cool, and some of the rules are so cool. It looks like so much fun. They did play around our area. They played in Allentown on July 4th. Actually, it was maybe a pretty big deal. But you got to get tickets way ahead of time. They're sold out all the time. They're pretty cool though. I do like those, but he's sick. He's got VD.
I still don't understand what the deal is.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy deal. But I do like the idea that on a third strike foul ball, if somebody in the crowd catches it, it's an out. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's great.
That they ended up. I saw one where a kid, a younger kid, actually caught one to end an inning, and the whole team ran up into the crowd and brought the kid down and ran around the bases with him. That's just shit they do. It's all fan service. It's just fan service baseball and craziness. It's pretty cool. I don't understand the rules though. There's strikes, but there's also other items. But it's pretty cool. But he's going.
It's not something I think that translates to descriptions very well.
No,
it's when you read it, it's it's baseball, but they dance around.
They dance around and they do TikTok dances
and they do
flips.
I'm like that. I'm like, I don't want that in my baseball. No. That doesn't sound good. But everybody says it's great.
It's pretty cool. It's really
it's really for younger. Games on YouTube, right?
They have, they do. And they have it. There's a channel. I forget what channel carries the games, but it's like they play like once every week or so. It's almost because they travel so much. I think that they show that. But I've watched a couple games. I saw it on TV. I was working out and I was on the treadmill and it was on. I'm like, this is weird. And then I'm just because you're forced. I'm just there. There was nothing else to watch. So I'm watching. I'm like, wait a minute. This is pretty cool. And then they have like it's like wrestling combined with TikTok dancing combined with baseball combined with more wrestling. It's a lot of wrestling, like a lot of like wrestling promo-esque things, like between innings and stuff. It's pretty cool. But and the guys are all actually, I mean, we're ridiculous. It's the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. That's all. It's pretty much that, right?
The Harlem Globetrotters don't do TikTok dances.
No, but I bet you they do now. Baskets. I haven't seen them in a while, but they do crazy shit. But that's kind of the play. But it is.
I knew somebody who used to work for the Harlem Globetrotters until recently. I'll have to ask.
Really? Yeah. Ask if they do TikTok dancing now. I bet you they're like, oh, yeah, of course they do. They do all that. And then they throw the bucket of confetti at the person and then accidentally throw the water bucket on them. That's one of their biggest plays. I saw the Globetrotters a couple times. But again, you have to be pretty good to be on those teams. And so it's the same with this Savannah Bananas. They're pretty good. But that's that. That's enough Savannah Banana talk. And that Zach may or may not have VD. But with that, we're going to go up. I'm going to end the show with talking about, I was hoping by now you would have talked about the books till next week. I was off the hook again. But no, I will go off.
I haven't looked yet.
I will do the deal, and we'll talk about what we're going to be talking about next week. But thanks, Fred. And I'll get to that right about now.
All right, and that is it for this week's show. Of course, at this point, we talk about what we're going to be talking about next week. And if you are playing at home, you might realize that we have been a little lax on the Absolute show. We are still going to be doing that. I might be doing it with more than just Gray. Gray did say he still would want to do Absolute Batman. The problem is, Gray's just as sick as I was this week, to the point where neither of us even asked if the other could do it. We just couldn't do it this week. So that will eventually be caught up to, even though at one point we're going to catch up to Wonder Woman and all that stuff. But we will kind of figure that out. I'm going to lean on my man Zach to do some of the Absolute stuff with me as well. And the reason why is so that me and Gray can do more of our Patreon stuff that we really enjoy doing, specifically Yosagi Yojimbo, which we really like, but also our Grant Morrison show as well. But with all of that, here's what we're going to be doing next week. Absolute Flash number 10 does come out, so I'm going to try to figure out how we can do that. Maybe have a combined show where me and Greg catch up with Batman, and then I do Absolute Flash. We'll see how that is, but we'll figure that out. We also have, for the regular show, and remember, 2 of these books will be picked by the badasses, the Get Fresh crew, and that'll be on our Patreon spotlight at, what is that, patreon.com/Weird Science. You can look in the show notes for the link, but here's what is up for grabs. Nightwing number 133. That book is not great in my mind. I do tend to get a little like butt heads with people on Dan Waters and his writing. I'm not a big fan. I think this Nightwing run stinks, but it could get better. And supposedly the way he's been talking, even when you get to March and things might change up, he's going to continue on probably without Dexter Soy, I believe, because he's off the book. But you end up for this issue, friend of the show, V. Ken Marion. So that's pretty cool. But everything just kind of got pushed to a head. Like things that seemed to be important ended up not being important. Things were left behind. I think that Dan Waters was told to get out of this nonsense story. Hopefully the next deal, which he does say that will be more, street level and grounded, which I've been saying all along. That's what it should have been. Even though on this one you have Martian Manhunter on the cover for some reason. But here is the solicit. Bloodhaven is turning on its hero Nightwing. Doesn't have time to care. But do we? And at what cost? As strange disappearances grip the city, the mysterious Cirque du Sin seems to be gaining power. Now, to save the city's children, Nightwing must follow the circus music where no one else dares, with Martian Manhunter in it. And the Zani and the Cirque du Sin, not real exciting to me. Not really good. I think he wanted to go this, supernatural type of thing. Ended up having the Teddies and the Flyboys. Then he ended up with, Nightwing Prime. Then you have RoboCop, Olivia Pierce, who then ends up being a zombie that's dead, but resurrected. Oh, my God. Please, somebody make heads or tails of that nonsense. But we'll see. We'll see how it ends. We'll see how it goes. But again, my favorite character, Nightwing and Dick Grayson in all iterations. And in my mind, I haven't really enjoyed a run of Nightwing since the New 52. So that is pretty bad. Pretty bad indeed. Other people, your mileage may vary. If you like the Tim Seeley nonsense better than Batman at the beginning of Rebirth. I thought it was ridiculous. But, yeah. And then when we got to Rick Grayson, holy moly. And since then, Tom Taylor seemed like he had something, but he didn't. He just kept doing PR. He just kept, hey, Nightwing's great. I'm like, yeah, kind of know that. Next deal is Batman, Superman, World's Finest, number 46. This is that Lex Joker story that I'm not a big fan. I keep saying this, but it's Mark Waid and Adrian Gutierrez on art. In order to defeat the Joker, loser team Batman and Superman may have to ask for a little help from their friends. That sounds like Ringo. If they still have any after the shocking events of the last issue. Don't miss part 2 of the merger. It's funny, they say that. I don't know what they mean. I remember kind of the issue. But that's the thing. It should be bigger. It's not. I think World's Finest gets to 50 and ends. I think that's one of the books that needs to be retired. Needs to be put away, just like me. Next book is Titans number 30, of course. That is a KO tie-in. All Fight Month it is. And Simon mentioned this on our spotlight that he thought, you know what? A Cyborg versus Swamp Thing fight? That sounds pretty cool. Now, when you get to the deal, it still drives me nuts. It says DCKO All Fight Month, round 4 of 8. That's not how rounds work. These would all be going congruently as round 2. Grab yourself a ringside seat and get ready for the latest round of KO Carnage. John Layman writing, Pete Woods on art. Cover looks pretty cool. We'll see how it goes. Remember, Cyborg in the last issue of Titans, he was going off to fight. Very, very sad that nobody was there to see him off. Oh, my. Another thing that could end up where I keep talking about what could be reset, even in a self-reset, would be Vic's Den. And you could end up getting Silas back. I think it's right. That could be something that comes back because he's still dead. Thanks a lot, Morgan Hampton. Way to go, pal. The next book up is, oh my goodness, Jared will be happy. Wonder Woman, number 28. Mouse Man is an island. All right, I'm done. I'll keep going. Best laid plans of Mouse Man have gone awry, with Wonder Woman inspiring an island of people to revolt against their captor. His reign has reached its end, but never underestimate a desperate man, especially one who was once a punchline. Can Wonder Woman and her child survive his wrath? I think so. That's just me. Then again, it is Tom King. So who knows? That is Tom King writing, Daniel Semper on art. Book sucks. The book sucks. I'm not even going to mince words. It blows. It does. Here, I'm looking at some of the comments here on the League of Comic Geeks. How is she still fighting these fuck-ass rats? Somebody put. That's pretty good. We're still doing the Mouseman arc? Come on, man. Really hoping this is the last one. These are all in a row. Please let this be the final issue of what I hope is a 6-issue arc. This person says, thank effing God. I don't know why this time I say the effing. Thank effing God, maybe the God part. This is the last Mouseman issue. Is this the last issue of the series? Tom King, please don't come back from your break. Go destroy something else. These are just one after the other. It's funny. Every one is by Jared. That'd be hilarious. It's not. No, nobody likes Tom. That's the thing. Here's the thing. You can be somebody. Again, everybody can like whatever they want. I don't give a mouse man's ass. But if you're a comic book fan and you enjoy comics, you can't enjoy Tom King's right because he just wants to destroy everything. If you're somebody who's like, I never liked comics because I thought they were goofy and they don't have that, then you could, because you're not really a comic fan. And that's what I get. I'm telling you right now, if you're listening and you like Tom King books, I'm just here to tell you, I'll gatekeep all the day till the cows come home. You're not a comic book fan. You can't be. It's impossible. You cannot be a Tom King fan and like comics. You have to hate comics to be a Tom King fan. Also, you should. Wonder Woman looks like she's been punched 7 times in the nose. She looks like Jimmy Durante on this cover. The more I look, the more it stares at me like a big penis. I mean her nose. The big penis. Ha-cha-cha-cha. Next book. What's next? This is what happens, too, when I get sick like this. I end up getting all... the filter comes off, I think. It's in there. So, again, I just want to make clear, I want to apologize. I want to apologize that if you like Tom King's writing, I apologize for your brain. Because you're not I just don't feel that people who love or like Tom King's writing are comic book fans. They're people who want to read comics for some reason, but don't really like them. So they watch them burn. The next one's DCKO Harley Quinn versus Zatanna #1. All right, here we go. Can we please? See, I was going to say, first off, we have backwards word magic, right? Edward, you know what I'm talking about. Then you also have the book written by Leah Williams. So we got 2 strikes, right? The best would have been they didn't do it. They actually didn't do it. Have the solicit written in the Harley point of view. And then I would have completely lost it. But they didn't. This book, I'm telling you right now, first off, this will be on the Patreon Spotlight. And my guess is this book will be so effing crazy that you could either go, it like almost wraps itself around the world, comes back to you in the way that it might be the greatest thing that we'll ever read because it's the worst thing ever written. I can't wait. I actually think, I joke about all this all the time and whatnot. I legit have not had I cannot wait till that book comes out moment in a while. I have it here. I cannot wait to read this book. I can't wait to see how just crazy, insane nonsense it is. DCKO All Fight Month, round 5 of 8. It's all out chaos as Harley Quinn faces off against a surprise opponent. Really? The book is called Harley Quinn versus Zatanna. You could give us something else than a surprise. I believe the surprise opponent might be Hawkwoman. You see, they did it. They didn't even have to use Harley Quinn. Like, surprise opponent. The cover looks awful. Who's doing this cover? It is Jorge Corona. I don't mind Jorge Corona. This cover looks a wreck. It's more a wreck than Zatanna's ripped up, stockings. And Harley's wearing like Batman, what's it called? Absolute Batman freaking boots. I know what she's doing. She looks like a zombie. But yeah, you also have Miracle and Dolfo on the art. So yeah, there you go. Zatanna and Harley Quinn. And now if I look at this, first off, somebody I think in the comments there mistook Zatanna maybe for a Big Barda. But also, when you look at the comments, it's people just saying, please, why is Harley? It is funny. It almost feels like at times like, oh man, you have to have Batman. No, you have to have Harley. Harley in the tournament. Yeah, if Harley would win, people would go nuts. I'm a fan of Harley. I'll say it every time that she comes up that I think she needs to go away for a set amount of time to get people to want her back. That's what my whole opinion. I thought it was, even before Punchline came out. So I love Punchline. A little shout out to you. I said that Harley had to go away, and then Punchline made it very clear that nobody was really into Harley. They wanted an alternative even, and then they still keep going. And that book going on now. I think I saw an ad for an anniversary issue or something coming up. Nobody's reading that book. Nobody. So what's next? What is next on the hit parade? We have Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, number 5. Me and Dr. Matt will be talking about that. I haven't really loved it. Obviously, it is the, Ice Cream Man meets Superman meets my chagrin. What's truly at the end of the rainbow? We can't be certain, but we're pretty sure it ain't a pot of the golds. I like how they write it too. Hey, it's not the pots of golds, it isn't. I thought they were doing more of a Wizard of Oz. Up till now, it's been a peculiar polychromatic pilgrimage for Superman. He's lost track of time under the influence of purple kryptonite. Has he? Grown to a skyscraper size via Cobalt K, huh? Revisited his adolescence by way of Speckled K, and traveled to the 5th dimension using a key carved of rainbow rock. Now in this final issue, the chickens have come home to roost. Thank God. I haven't eaten since Tuesday. Sunday night, I got to eat something. Maybe I'll have some chickens coming home to roost. And so too has Kal-El. Back in Metropolis, the man of tomorrow must stand face to face with the man of today and decide for himself finally whether Lex is right. Does home hurt too much? Yep. And it's W. Maxwell Prince in a picture that makes him really look like a douchebag. If you go to the League of Comic Geeks and look up this book and you look, he really looks like a 100% douche. Art by Martin Marazzo. Looks like a nice guy. Looks like he's like, hey, I'm here to have some fun with you guys. I'm here with my buddy W. Maxwell Powell. Sorry, that guy's a bit of a douchebag. He does. I hate when people, you have a picture to take and you have to look like a douche. Just smile once, please. Right? Just give you pearly whites. Just, flash them to somebody. But yeah, there it is. Superman, the Kryptonite Spectrum, number 5. The douchebag spectrum. The next one is Superman Unlimited, number 8. And this is, I believe, the last one for what we're going to be doing. This is another book that me and my man, Dr. Matt, will be talking about. We're enjoying it, but we talked about it earlier, about the idea. It gets mixed up a bit with Action Comics now and whatnot. But here you go. Guest starring Green Lantern Guy Gardner. Thanks to Toyman's kryptonite generators, Earth is finally ready to mass-produce commercial faster-than-light rockets for the planet's richest 1%. The hell is this? Doesn't even sound like anything that we were dealing with. And who wouldn't want Earth's multi-billionaires traveling among the stars? Everyone. Every single being in the entire cosmos. This is from the headlines. It's up to Superman and special guest star Guy Gardner to save the launch of Simon Stagg's new space yacht from one of the deadliest cosmic beings in the galaxy. Cover is really cool. Who's doing this cover? This cover is by Dave Johnson. Looks really neat. It's got Guy there. His guy's yelling, out of the way, Soups. This is a job for Guy Gardner. And Superman's like, get out of here, you one-punch jerk. And then it looks like maybe Brainiac shit or whatever, but we'll see. But yeah, that doesn't sound like the stuff we were dealing with, but this book is odd. It kind of like jumps back and forth and whatnot. And it is, again, Jeremy Adams writing with a story by Dan Slott. Jeremy Adams now becoming the new Christos Gage. And Lucas Mayer. Lucas Mayer looks like a fine guy, smiling at me. He's having a grand old time as the artist. Looks a little like, what's his name? Herbert, the quarterback for the Chargers. This Lucas Mayer does. You can tell me I'm wrong, but I'm not. So yeah, and in that there's a bunch of crazy characters in it. Looks like Jessica Cruz might be there as a construct, it says. Star Sapphire, Martian Manhunter, and a bunch of other deal on there. So yeah, I like the Lucas Mayer art too. I think he looks like a cool guy. Doesn't look like a douche to me. The douche alert did not go off like it did earlier. But that's it. That's it for what we're going to be talking about next week. By the way, Marcelo Mayalo's picture, he looks like if you don't pay him back that $5, he's going to crack your knees. So I'm not going to say anything about him. Jeremy Adams smiling away. Dan Slott. That's Dan Slott. So there you go. But that is it. That is it, everybody. Thanks for everybody who joined me, which was Brad and Matt. Let's say Dan. I don't know what's going on with me, except that I don't feel good. But we're going to get out of here. Thanks, everybody, for listening. You're part of the Get Fresh crew, whether you like it or not. Beep, boop. And that is it. We might even have a little special sus Christmas song after we get out of here as a bonus that you all really want. But here we go. Thanks, everybody, and I'll talk to you all later.
Every other show sucks. That's why you're listening to us. Every other show sucks. We're the only one that isn't us. So thank you for being smart. From the bottom of our heart, thank you for being smart. 'Cause everything that us just thinks like a fart. They stink like a fart. Sings like a fart, like a fart. They stink like a fart. Let's go! 2, 3, 4, 5. Has read comics, most of his life. 9, 8, 7, 6. Jim can really act like a shut your mouth. Every other show sucks. That's why you're listening to us. Every other show sucks. We're the only one that isn't us. So thank you for being smart. From the bottom of our heart, thank you for being smart. 'Cause everything about us just stinks like a fart. They stink like a fart. Stinks like a fart, like a fart. They stink like a fart. Let's go. Growing up, I never believed in Santa Claus. But that all changed last year, and it was all because I finally saw him with my own 2 eyes. So you can just imagine my surprise. Oh, and Santa came down my chimney and he swept me off my feet. When Santa came down my chimney and he gave me a Christmas treat. I grabbed his Yule log and I licked his candy cane. Oh, Christmas will never be the same. I didn't know what I should think right away. Before I knew it, we were rolling around in his sleigh. On my face he spread all his Christmas cheer. Believe me, Santa comes more than once a year. Oh, and Santa came down my chimney and he swept me off my feet. When Santa came down my chimney and he gave me a Christmas treat. I grabbed his Yule log and I licked his candy cane. Oh, Christmas will never be the same. Santa wanted me to kiss him beneath the mistletoe, but I don't know how it got that darned low. The things he did I couldn't quite resist. Me and Santa are now on the naughty list. Oh, when Santa came down my chimney and he swept me off my feet. When Santa came down my chimney and he gave me a Christmas treat. I grabbed his Yule log and I licked his candy cane. Oh, Christmas will never be the same. Christmas will never be the same.